Hey, here we are once again. It's Friday night. You know, when I turned this camera on, it was still bright from Wednesday night. Remember, you were...
I left an impression on this bitch. That's what I do.
And it took like a long time for me, like, putting my hand in front of it.
It takes time for even computers to adjust to me. Yeah, you didn't know that?
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, it's electromagnetism.
Oh, okay.
It's electromagnetism. Animal magnetism, too.
Oh.
Yeah. No, the fucking computers think I'm sexy as shit. I fucking look too hard at them and they'll break. I got a computer pregnant one time by looking at it too long.
Really? What kind of baby came out?
I don't know. Came out in the internet somewhere.
You don't even know where it is.
No, I don't know where it went.
So somewhere there's a Tom computer hybrid that you don't know about?
I said I wasn't the father. I talked my way out of it.
And then you got taken on Maury Povich. And
yeah, Maury Povich freed me. Tom, you are not the father. I forgot you. Yeah. Me and 1,000 other black dudes.
I mean, you just said that you got the computer pregnant, though. You just admitted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm admitted to it now, but I didn't admit to it back then. That's how I do.
You got a computer pregnant.
Yeah, I got
That's like some demon seed.
By looking at it. Too. Yeah.
Just by looking at it?
Yeah, by looking at it.
I was like, what'd you do? You stick your dick in the hard drive thing? Or
Jenny, I'm making this up as I go along. Just off the top of my fucking head.
I know, I'm trying to add detail.
It was the reverse of the demon seed. In the demon seed movie, the computer got the woman pregnant.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good movie, by the way.
In my version of the demon seed, I get the computer pregnant.
But just by looking at it.
By looking at it. Didn't have to even do anything. I just looked at it too long. Looked at it with lust for a little too long.
Just looking at the computer.
Yeah.
Look at that sexy computer.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Man, back when I was in high school, some of them girls were so voluptuous and fucking, just like, what do you call them? Just coming into bloom, you know, that you say? That I was afraid that if I stared at them too long, I'd get them pregnant. Or
they would explode.
Yeah. They were just right, man. Right for pregnant.
So early. Starting so early.
Yeah. Hormones, man. Fucking hormones.
That's all right. I always know it's going to be fun when you already start this early with the shenanigans.
We're going to see.
We'll see how it goes. I mean,
sleepy.
Well, yeah, we went to Ocala today.
Yeah.
To see my mom, and all my siblings came too with all their attendant spouses and children in some cases. Well, not children. My nephews are grown.
Yeah.
But.
Stopped off at the range before we went there. I shot 3 uppers. AR-15 uppers. Jen waited in the car, and I forgot to turn the AC on for her. She was in there boiling. And she had to go to the bathroom, but the bathroom's right there.
I didn't know there was a bathroom.
Yeah, it was right there.
At the range. I didn't see it.
Took me about an hour to zero.
That was a disgusting ass.
Because I had to share the range with these other dudes. These dudes taking too fucking long.
That was a disgusting ass bathroom. But I had to pee so bad. Like, it wasn't even a real toilet. It was just kind of like and there was no sink in there, like, to wash your hands or nothing. So I was like, ew. I didn't want to touch anything. So nasty. CB says my girlfriend is pissed. She thinks I stopped fucking her to watch you guys.
Yeah.
Wait, did you?
Well, why'd you stop fucking?
I mean, we could have waited. You can watch it again later. You know what I mean?
Murder Hornet's in the comment section. He reemerged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tammy thought he was dead. I had to go fucking check on him. He wasn't dead. Bitch was in detox.
Yeah.
That's right. Tried to drink himself into a damn stupor. Goes to fucking detox. He's playing cards, and then he fucking had a coma. He passed out while he was playing cards. But he's good now. And while he was in detox, his friends at the apartment complex thought he called the cops, thinking he was dead up there in that apartment. The cops broke into his apartment. He wasn't in there. He did some shit.
Yeah, we all wondered where.
Yeah. I thought you got in trouble up in Mexico. In Mexico, not up in Mexico, down in Mexico.
Yeah, I was gonna say
down Mexico way. That's how you say it in the fucking old fucking Western movies. Down Mexico way.
Down Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured you and those bums you hang out with got into some kind of trouble. You and Gabe, yeah.
Gabe
he'll send me videos from his phone. Clips of him fucking with Gabe, talking shit to Gabe. Just funny. Those are his guides. His Mexican Sherpas.
Yeah.
They take him places.
Yeah, Phantom said I was calling all the Mexican morgues and donkey shows trying to locate Murder Hornet.
Yeah.
Calling up the hey,
donkey shows all over the place.
Have you seen this guy?
Yeah.
I love calling up the donkey shows.
Yeah. Never can't tell what's going to be happening. You don't know who's going to be performing. That's the thing. It can surprise you sometimes. Somebody you know, that kind of shit. You know what? Donkey shit, Mexican donkey show?
Oh, my. It's like, what? You making good money at least?
Yeah, next week I'm fucking graduating to the horses. Okay, all right.
Yeah, donkeys, that's a little low rent.
Yeah, they're too little.
Zach says, how bad are we talking as far as the bathroom goes? The bathroom from Trainspotting or the one from Silent Hill 2? It was up there with the Trainspotting one. Not quite as disgusting, but along those lines.
Yeah, man, I ran into the... I hadn't gone to the range in a while, and I was zeroing on a 25-meter zero target, Army zero target, which simulates a 300-meter shot on a man-sized target. And you zero using that. I was using A1 sights on one carbine that I built, and then the rest of them were red dots. The two other ones were red dots. My fucking eyesight has degenerated just in the past maybe year or so. In a simulated 300-meter shot, the fucking red dot, if I turned it up bright enough to see it, it would drown out the fucking target. If I turned it down a notch to make the dot smaller so I could see the target, then I couldn't see the red dot anymore. Not in full sunlight.
Being blind sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I can only do iron sights right now. And my iron sight shooting isn't that good for 300. At 300, if I fucking put the iron sights on a man 300 meters away, he's just kind of like a grit. I see him, but his outline is diffuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a shot on that. And you don't know right when to pull the trigger. So with that, so I can shoot out to 300, but I can't see it very well at 300. So I need a fucking prism. I need a prism optic. Something like an ACOG, something that's got like 3-power magnification. That's what I'm gonna get. And they have reticles that light up, so it's kind of like a red dot, but then you can change it up and turn it into a rifle sight with stadium marks for windage and elevation at longer ranges. But I don't really need real long range. 300 meters, that's it. But man, it just goes to show you, I couldn't do what I could do a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been to the range lately.
Well, now that you know, because here's the thing.
Now I know. I got to change everything.
Well, when we were going to see my mom, and he's like, well, ask her if there's anywhere to shoot around there, because she has 10 acres, but I don't know, because she has neighbors and stuff, so I didn't know if you could shoot on her property. I was like, probably not. But my brother texted me back, because it's we're all on the chat. And he's like, oh, there's a range, because he also lives in Ocala. He's like, there's a range like halfway in between. Like, it's like 30 minutes from my mom's house. And turns out it's only like 30 minutes from here. It's like exactly halfway in between our house and her house, and it's on the way. Yeah. And we didn't know it was there. So and it's public. It's U.S. Forestry Service. Yeah. It's tiny, but I mean, you can just go there and it's free, and you just go and.
Another thing that I tried out is in one of the AR-15 lowers, I put a TLR-1 trigger package in there, which is a batch competition trigger package. It was expensive. It was like $160. I bought it about a year and a half ago, and I never tried it. Never tried it at the range. It fucking felt great, that trigger. But out of 30 rounds, man, 2 of them failed to fire light primer strikes because the hammer's too light. I heard a couple guys complaining about it, but that's not known for that trigger package. But I'm going to go over to a mil-spec, a tuned mil-spec trigger. They have some enhanced mil-spec triggers that hit primers hard enough. The hammer's got to be bigger. Boy, I wish that thing would work, though. I just can't trust it. As soon as I get any kind of failure to fire, that's it. That's through. Because I don't like any kind of problems with ignition. Other things I can work with, accuracy and stuff. But any kind of ignition problems, that I give up right away. I'm going back to what was tried and true.
Well, I'm just saying that it's good that you found out that range was there, because if you ever want to go shoot, it's like back. Yeah, it's like it's like a half-hour drive. Yeah. And shit, we drive farther than that to go to restaurants.
I show up there and take over the range. I go up there and all of a sudden they're asking me what to do. They thought I was running the range. I wasn't in charge of the range, but I said okay. making the range, calling the range hot or cold, so people can go down and look at their targets. I just evolved into being in charge of the range. They thought I worked there. Because of the way I looked, I guess.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
It was kind of busy for Friday.
Yeah. I wouldn't go there on a Friday. It was too busy.
Yeah.
I'd go there on a Monday when nobody was there.
And I mean, it's not big. It's just kind of like, I don't even know how many.
About 10 people side by side.
Yeah.
Then there's another range.
Yeah.
Off to the right where I think you can get out to about 500 meters.
Yeah.
With it. But I just needed 25 meters because I had a target that simulated 300. I didn't need 300.
Let's see. Murder Hornet's talking about his experience in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
in the drunk tank.
He said what was weird. I was over the withdrawals and I was playing cards. All of a sudden, I seized up.
Yeah.
And they said I was out for 30 seconds. It was scary.
Had a seizure, huh?
Yeah. And then they put him. He said he gained 10 pounds in detox.
They were feeding you good, huh?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Then he said, funny thing, they put me in the psychiatric unit with all the crazies. Provided good entertainment, though.
They must have thought you were crazy. Let me look at the glasses.
CB says, Jenny, it looks like a Halloween TV series based on the films is getting made by Peacock. That might be interesting. Although, honestly, the Halloween movies, I kind of really only like the first two, and then some of the newer ones were okay, but and obviously Halloween 3, but that's not really part of that's kind of a standalone. Phantom says, I just ordered a VHS copy of the Disney classic, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, the Sleepy Hollow film, which is a pretty good short film. Honestly, I just watched that not too long ago, and I saw that a million times growing up. I thought that was such a good adaptation of Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that animated one. I think that's still like the go-to, you know what I mean? Yeah, Tammy said it's called old age getting blind. Yeah, I was saying today because I was talking to my sister, and she's 45. Yeah, she's 7 years younger than me, and she was saying that she was starting to notice the same thing too. And it's like, she had really like better than 20/20 vision, which is I also did until a few years ago, and then it seemed like within 6 months it just went to shit. Like I couldn't see the computer anymore, and I couldn't see the phone anymore, and for a while I could still see the closed captioning like on the TV like across the room, but now I can't read that anymore either. So now I have to wear glasses to watch TV so I can read the closed captioning, whereas before I could still see far away and now I can't. And I need the glasses to drive now too, and like I didn't used to. I can still see okay like far away, but let me see.
See, last I had my eyes checked at the VA, they really weren't far from 20/20. One eye was almost like perfect, and the other one was a little bit imperfect. They're a little bit different.
Yeah.
So my binocular vision is a little imperfect. So I can get off the shelf reading glasses, but they're not quite right, because each eye is a different prescription, not by much, but they must have changed since then. I could definitely shoot with glasses, but I didn't bring glasses, and that's not my standard. My standard is to shoot with fucking bare eyes. I want to know how that's doing, because you don't plan for having glasses. Hold on, let me go get my glasses.
So I can shoot you.
So I can come back to the gunfight. I'll be back in a second. Yeah.
Yeah, we were joking about that.
So you got.
Let me put my contacts in.
Yeah.
So I can see you to shoot your face
Just
off.
try to work with what you got. Yeah.
I mean, it's not great because I don't really like having to wear the reading glasses all the time, but so because sometimes I'm just sitting in the car and I don't want to wear them because they kind of hurt my face, or like I kind of get a headache or whatever. But then it's like I need to look at something on the phone, like on Spotify, or look up on something on Google Maps or whatever, and I just have to dig my glasses out and put those back on. It's a pain in the ass. And I don't want to do contacts either, because contacts are a pain in the ass also. Because I like the cosmetic ones, like the color ones.
Yeah.
Like I like how they look. But it's like Tom's like, well, why don't you wear them out to the club and stuff? I said, because when I come home kind of drunk, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to get them out of my eyeballs.
I can get those things out easy.
But
even drunk, I can get those out.
Like I'll just be there in the bathroom going, God damn it! Like I can't get them out.
I'll help you take them out.
And I have a hard time getting them in too.
Yeah, I can get them in too. That's another thing.
They usually just stick to my.
You know who else was good at getting them in? It was Jen.
Well, she wears them all the time.
She could just go pink. She walked up to you and just bink, bink, put two
in there. Well, yeah, because
we
went to, this was a couple years back, but we went to the vampire ball with them, with Jen and Dimitri. And I wore these red contact lenses and they looked really cool, but it's just like, I'd never worn them before. And like, you know, about 3/4 of the way through the night, they started really, really hurting my eyes. And I couldn't get them out. And I was like freaking out. Like I was trying to get them out and I couldn't get them. And I don't really like people reaching into my eyeballs, but she's like, I wear contacts, like I do this all the time, and I was just like, okay, but I trust you, but like, yeah. And she just went, zoop, and she just pulled them right out. I was like, oh my god, that was like fucking magic.
Yeah, you don't even feel it. She's good. She's good at it. I was having problems getting the fucking contact off of my finger. Every time I tried to put it in place,
that's that's the problem I have.
And she goes here, dink.
Yeah, like dink. it just bends back over my finger. I'm like, how do you stop it from doing that? I don't really know.
Yeah. You touch your eyeball.
Well, even when I touch my eyeball, then it just goes, and I'm just like, okay, that's no help. Like I'm not averse to like touching my eyeball. I touch my eyeballs all the time. It's just kind of like, it won't come off my finger. It just stays on my finger.
Sidequest is here. What's up, Sidequest?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yeah, they're talking about. Zach says basically you're turning into goth Helen Keller. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not totally deaf yet, but I'm getting there too. Phantom says, did y'all check out the new werewolf trailer for that upcoming Frank Grillo film? Werewolves looks decent and the werewolf design looks good. Man, it seems like there's going to be... Because there's a movie coming out called Wolfman, too.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't look like it's kind of like the Universal one or anything like that. It kind of looks like a new story, but it's definitely a werewolf. So maybe there's like a little mini boom in werewolf things. I was asking anybody in my family if they'd seen Terrifier 3 yet, but they had not. They also had not seen The Substance or Late Night with the Devil. Because I was telling them, you guys got to see it. Because my sister was like, yeah, I've been wanting to see The Substance. I'm like, oh my god, you have to see it. It's fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
I was like, please fucking see it. But yeah, because I don't know. Should we go see Terrifier 3 this weekend?
Yeah, if you want to.
To review on Monday?
Yeah, if you want to.
It might be fun. We've seen the other ones. We saw the other ones, and I saw
When do you want to see it, tomorrow or the next day?
I don't know. Whatever's going on. Whatever's going on.
All I can think about is drinking, getting this show over, and going to sleep.
Well, gee, that's... We've only been on for like 15 minutes, and you're already...
Man, I was wore out from today.
I mean, we didn't really do much. We got up and...
Well, I drove both ways.
Drove over there.
I was in there with my son all day, and fucking tired my eyes out for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, SideQuest says you're going to want contacts for the range. I used to try to shoot with glasses, and it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do without them. I'm just going to use optics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll use optics. There's the damn prism optic. A 3 power. It's made by Primary Arms. It's pretty well rated, and it's real good for AR-15. Has AR-15 reticles in it, and has a bunch of different functions. And you can select magnification. I believe you can tailor it a bit to your eye. So I think that might work. But I'm going to find out more about it before I get it. Another option would be the Brownells is making the old Colt scope from the 1960s, the original one for the M16. And it's the same company that used to make it. They're making it again now. It's kind of high though, only for a 4 power, and it's just regular crosshairs, like an old scope. That was like from the Vietnam era, but they said they improved it a bit. And guys that own it say it's like their favorite scope to shoot on an AR-15 is built for it. For a carry handle too. I'm gonna put them on carry handles. Carry handle carbine.
Phantom says, I watched Late Night with the Devil on Wednesday. It's a funny film, especially the bar scene. Yeah, I mean, that's still in the running for my favorite horror film of this year. Substance is probably the second favorite, but... Tammy said, I've been watching the series From, very decent show. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about that. I'll probably get around to watching it. Like, I've heard it's good. Oracle is getting her contract extended. It was supposed to expire at the end of this year, but it's going to go until next year, so that's awesome.
What kind of contract?
A little work contract.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's good. You won't have to be looking for new shit.
Yeah.
In the new year. CB said my girlfriend got her belly button ring caught on something at work and it pulled it out.
Ooh. But
it didn't hurt her. She isn't going to put one back in. I have nightmares about that happening with like my nipple rings.
Yeah.
That like they get caught on something. That's why in the new Mad Max movie, Furiosa, there was that part where fucking what's
the
his
people
name?
Eater?
Yeah, or no, the dude what's his face that the big muscle dude played? What the fuck was his name? With the long
Morton
hair?
Joe?
No. I'm talking about Furiosa. I'm not talking about...
Okay.
Yeah. We just watched it.
Yeah, but what was that guy? Oh, the
Hemsworth fella.
Yeah, that guy. What
he had nipple rings at some point.
Oh, he did?
And remember, he had them tied to that thing, and then like they pulled out at that point, like when the dude fell or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't remember that part.
Yeah, like, and I was just like, oh, like the whole time. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, the people eater had those too.
Yeah. But that
he had
other
his
dude...
suit cut out so you could see his nipple. They had chain going from one side. It's fucking crazy shit.
I mean, they hurt so much going in. I can't imagine what that would feel like coming. Because every now and then, like, you get out of the shower or something like that, and you're drying off the towel, and like the towel will kind of catch, and you'll just be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind
of. Well, if
it
happened fast, it would just overwhelm you. You wouldn't feel it until after, like a couple seconds after.
I don't even want to. It's just like making me freak out. Just like
don't think about it.
I'm trying.
It won't happen.
Well, it could happen.
It might happen.
Tammy said, Oracle, you should have told Tom it was a sex contract.
Instead
of a work contract. Yeah, my sex contract was extended for another year.
It's a contract to the fucking oil shake. Yeah. It's like a 1-year contract. We'll be over there with him.
Oh, man.
Up in his harem.
Yeah. We've talked about that. Like, how much money would it take?
How much money would it take to get you in a harem? Yeah. And we're talking about a lot of money.
It better be a lot of money. I'm not doing that fucking for some... I'm talking about, like, fuck off forever money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I never need to work again money. And, like, I can buy anything I want.
The problem is, what if
money.
the dude doesn't let you go?
Well, that's a concern.
That's another thing that happens, yeah.
You'd really have to.
Yeah.
And it would be better if it was a harem, because then he wouldn't bother you all the time.
Yeah.
There'd be other people, it'd be spread out, like, kind of taking some of the load, you know? So most of the time, you would just be left alone.
I saw an interview with a girl who wrote a book about it. I can't remember what the name of the book was. It was a long time ago. 2000s, maybe like 2009, 2008. And it was... She was basically when girls are working off Backpage. And she saw an advertisement that said, that basically she read through the line, she read in between the lines that it was somebody looking for like a high-end concubine type of deal. So she answered it and went to an interview, and it was fucking in an expensive place. Dudes with fucking, and it was an agency that had hired her for a fucking extremely rich dude in Indonesia. She was already an escort, and she got there, and it was the dude had a harem, and she was in a like an apartment building, but I think it was on a compound that he owned. He was a multi-billionaire, and she first met him, and he just comes in and meets her and screws her. And then a couple hours later, another dude comes in who's older, comes and screws her. That was his dad. Ew. And then some other guys come in and screw her, and that was his brothers. And that went on for a little while. And then it all settled down, and she was like, had a relationship with this guy. She thought, she considered him her boyfriend. But she realized that all the girls on that floor that she was on were all in the harem. He'd visit them all. And some of those girls were like 13, 12, 13, 14. There's no concept of underage, evidently, in Indonesia.
Evidently.
Yeah. And this dude's in his, early 50s. But he's loaning out all the girls in the harem to, like, his relatives, like his sons and stuff. It was a whole stable. And she was there on a year contract, and she thought that she would get renewed. She wanted to stay. But she didn't get renewed. She never saw the guy. There was no breakup or anything. They just picked her up. Yeah, they said, get your shit.
Bat.
She wasn't 20.
No,
she was probably closer to 30.
Oh, that's even worse then. Yeah, you're past your.
She looked great though. She looked great though.
They don't care about.
But
that.
she wrote a fucking book about it. I said, man, that might be a good read.
It probably would be.
But I forgot the name of it.
Actually. Just because I enjoy reading stuff about it, it's like, well, that's shit I'd never do.
How much I bet that she made the whole thing up?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a good...
Yeah.
Who was that dude? Oh, this was maybe probably going back to the 90s or 2000s. Who was that dude that wrote that book that was like a... What was his name? James Fry, I think his name was. And he wrote a book that was... I don't even remember what it was about. It was something to do with like getting over his drug addiction or something. It was like super inspirational and all that bullshit. And he wrote it as a memoir, and he was on Oprah and all that other kind of crap, and he like sold like a bajillion books, and then they found out that he just made the whole thing up. Yeah. But I mean, it was just like fiction. But when you put nonfiction, like, ooh, it's this inspirational true story, then everyone's gonna buy it.
Made that shit up.
You know, that happens a lot.
I had the feeling that this girl was telling the truth, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
Not everybody's making shit up.
Yeah, and she looked kind of like an escort to me. You know, she just kind of carried herself a bit that way. She kind of a little bit goth, or in a way, you know what I mean, like goth friendly kind of looking, but also kind of little bit rough. You know, she looked like maybe she did time as a stripper too, maybe, but short black hair, like a little bob. You know, she kind of looked kind of like from what I remember, she kind of looked kind of like Joan Jett. She looked about like that kind of a chick. Implants. And I think she was working on Backpage as an escort when she answered that, from what she said.
Did she say that was
that was before all these fucking apps, you know?
Yeah. Did she say how much money she made?
Yeah, so she I think they paid her all up front. It went to an account. So she knew she was getting paid. All up front for a year. I think she says in the book, but I don't think she said in the interview. If I remember correctly, they paid her all up front. And it went into a bank account that she had. So there's no way that they couldn't take it from her.
Right.
You know. But the thing is they took her passport.
Oh,
so she couldn't leave.
That's a little...
Well, no, that was part of the deal.
Well, yeah, because they said
because she was paying you for a year, right? So you can't leave for that year.
I don't know, man. I don't like the sound
She couldn't get out of that compound anyway. It has security.
Yeah.
The whole thing was enclosed. It had gardens and stuff like that. And there's apartment buildings, and it had like pools and shit like that downstairs, and there was a whole staff that worked there 24/7. He was like she couldn't name him. But she said that he was like he was running a major industry, like a utility type industry. So you're talking about power production in some way, and you know, fucking electricity or oil, something like that. But his sons and shit were coming in and getting some. His dad came in and got some. He's like in his 70s.
It's a little weird.
They don't care. They just hired her, so she's you know, they hired her. The whole family's hidden. She's public property.
Yeah, use it all up.
Yep.
Just like an appliance in the house, just like the coffee
Try it out
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it for a spin. It's kind of depressing.
She said the other ones got bored with her though. Evidently, said then it was mostly just him and her, and she considered him to be her boyfriend. He'd come over all the time, because she was living in an apartment.
Right.
So he spent time in the apartment with her.
I wonder what she did the rest of the time. Just hung out?
Watch TV. On the internet, shit like that.
Yeah, because I guess she'd already been paid, so it's not like she had to go to work.
Probably watching Netflix.
Yeah.
If they had Netflix then. I think that was around 2008, 2009.
Yeah, maybe not. When did Netflix start?
Oh.
Well, I know it started... When it started, that you had the discs. They sent you the discs in the mail. Remember that?
Yeah. But
I had it back then.
They let her go. She went back to the United States and she wanted to go back, but that was it.
They were like, nah.
They were through with her.
Like I said.
Well, he already had you, so got tired of you.
Yeah. You're all used up.
Yeah. No, they had them. They were running them on rotation.
Yeah. It said, oh, well, if there's an indoor pool, that changes things.
I think she said it was outdoor pools. Does it look like a resort?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. We've talked about this before. It would have to be...
Those dudes are skanky, man.
That's what I mean. It'd have to be like $1 billion. You'd probably have to pay me like $1 billion. So that I would never have to worry about money. And I would not, and it would still be horrible. I would still try to get out of it any way I could. But maybe for $1 billion, I might think about it.
Well, she thought she was like, there was families and shit, you know what I mean? Because down the hallway was like some 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds living in there. She thought that was like somebody's kids. Like, no, those were the other girls in the fucking harem. She realized that those, but they all spoke different languages, so she couldn't talk to everybody. Nobody else spoke English. None of the other girls spoke English. They were from other parts of the country.
That's messed up.
Most of them, like, you know, from Indonesia, that area, you know, and fucking Thailand and shit like that, and then probably some from the Middle East and Europe, Russia, that kind of shit.
It's just, I don't know, man.
Dudes that have money fucking do some crazy shit. Especially you're in a country where, you know, it's Islam, so they you know, they have multiple wives.
Yeah, they already have that.
They already have that, and that's already there. And then, you're not supposed to have harems. Haram means it's forbidden, but they do it anyway. Haram. And it's just, you have, you're keeping women by the right hand. You paid them to stay there. So it's kind of, you could interpret it as being in the rules. Because you could say that they're just prostitutes, which, no, Saad said prostitution is not legit in Islam, but I remember reading other things that it was. I guess it depends on where you're reading. Because, you know, there's not just one book. They're reading out of 3 of them.
And how you want to interpret it.
And how you want to interpret it. Because you can be married and have wives, 3 wives, but you can also have slaves, and you can have sex with the slaves. It says that doesn't count. That's like having sex with riding a horse. That's what they said. That's just like riding a horse. But I guess you could say, well, we technically can't have slaves, but if you're hiring this girl, is she a slave? She's a sex slave, right? You've hired her.
Yeah, essentially.
So that's what they're... So, I mean, you might be able to rationalize it that way. Depending on if you have a good enough fucking imam. Like, you know, a fucking Muslim scholar can come in and go, yeah, it's legit. It's legit. You know,
yeah,
thank you. Cha-ching!
You just do whatever you want.
Yeah, it says right here. It says right here we can...
And you don't even
because they're like legal scholars.
It.
Yeah, they're like legal scholars.
I love it.
Yeah, some of them might be Jewish. You get the Jewish lawyer involved in the Quran. Fucking that'd be awesome.
Well, I mean,
they'll find a way.
That's kind of the nice thing about all of those religious scriptures, like the Bible and stuff, being so fucking vague.
Yeah.
Is that basically whatever fucking shit you want to do, you can find some justification for it in there somewhere.
Oh, there's wild shit in some of the Jewish stuff too. What was that fucking book that fucking I was hearing quotes from in like the Mythicist podcast? Anyway, just rules about how do you define a virgin. That was fucking bizarre.
The fact that they thought so much about that is just like really...
Yeah, because it had to do with dowries
Yeah.
and marriages and shit. And they said, well, how do you define a virgin? They says, well, if she has sex with a man but she's under the age of 3, she's still a virgin. Her virginity is renewed. Okay. Well, later on it says you can have sex with one under 3 because it doesn't...
That's like a literal baby.
That's a baby.
A literal baby.
Right.
That is.
No, it's not in. It wasn't in the Torah. It was in one of the other books. I forgot which one it was, but it was like a legal document, and it said.
Man, everybody's fucking.
There's all kinds of these weird. There's all kinds of these weird ways of looking at things. Like if you were to marry a woman, she's not a virgin. She's had sex before, but it was between a certain age. You can pay her dowry, but her dowry should only be half of what another girl's
she's
dowry.
Used goods. It's like getting a girl out of thrift store.
That kind of shit. But this is, you know, one of you guys could probably drop it in the comments what book I'm talking about. It's a famous book. I think it's just a Jewish legal book. It's old, but it's not the Torah though. Some people said it's more something like the cult thing almost. Not the Kabbalah. It was what was that fucking thing called?
It's just so funny how ingrained that idea is in a lot of religious texts of if women have a lot of sex, then they're used up. I mean, if men have a lot of sex, it's fine. It doesn't affect them, I guess. But Yeah, like if you are not a virgin when you get married, then you're like used up. Like I said, it's like a thrift store, like not as good.
Well, I think that's how they felt about it.
Yeah. And there's still it's kind of a pervasive mindset.
Well, there's a Madonna whore complex.
Yeah.
You know, and but the thing is, it's not just the Abrahamic religions. It's like that in Eastern religions too. You know, China's like that also. Or it's changed.
Yeah, it's
now,
very
it
common.
was like that over. And I think where that all came from was the concept of you might marry a woman who's already pregnant.
Right.
And you're raising another fucking dude's baby.
Right.
So you're wasting all those resources raising somebody else's baby that's not yours. And then it goes on the throne. It gets on the throne and becomes king, and he's not even your son.
Yeah.
And then the Lord would get pissed off because that was not divinely inspired. You know what I mean? That was
that
what was
did that
God
boy
said
did not
no
come
to
out of
that
your
shit.
peen.
Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's not legit.
Right. But the thing is, you look through history, man. That shit was happening all the time.
Well, of course.
Yeah, all the fucking. So I don't think it was so much that she was used up. I think what it meant was that you couldn't assure that the baby was yours. I think that's where it started. And then they probably also, if you look at the thinking, because a lot of these guys, you know, Pakistan, India, places in the Middle East, and Islamic scholars and people who are just, you know, into fucking folk beliefs and shit. It's not just Muslims, it's other ones, you know. They think the Hindu to kind of think that way too. If it's the kind of situation where if she's had sex with someone else before you, then that means she might have sex with anybody. So therefore, you know what I mean? She's a hoe. Or she could be a hoe. She could be having sex with you and then having sex with somebody else and somebody else and somebody else.
Well, see, but by that logic, if she's having sex with you, she could have sex with anybody else, even if she's never.
This is the kind of the fucking Madonna horror complex, childish thinking behind it.
It is very childish.
You know, and another thing is that they always say, "Well, I sexually assaulted this woman because she was attractive, so it's not my fault. It's her fault." You know, so they blame it on the woman.
It's always our fault.
I couldn't control my own dick.
It's always our fault.
But then they expect the woman to control her own pussy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you did that. You know,
everything's our fault.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, it's easier to blame them because let them get in trouble. Let them get in trouble.
And I think
you don't want to get in trouble.
Especially dudes that are like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to take any responsibility for their actions. They just want to do whatever the fuck they want and not get in trouble for it. Yeah. So it's easier to just say, oh, well, someone else did it. Yeah. It's someone else's fault.
There was not even a single pretense of anything like equality. No. Fuck no. It's male supremacy.
Yeah, that's exactly
100%. 100%. Yeah.
But it's just funny that, I don't know, because I think even nowadays, but it's a lot better than it used to be. But even nowadays, I think like
in this part of the world,
yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Yeah. But like some dudes are still obsessed with women's body counts and like.
It's only young guys
and shit. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like a lot of dudes are, and I'm just like, well, they're not concerned with dudes' body counts. They just
because he's a virgin.
They're just thinking like.
But he's not concerned with body counts because he's a virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's fucking lucky to get laid. Maybe he got laid a couple times. All right, and he knows he ain't shit. And if he runs into an experienced woman, he knows he's not gonna be able to stack up against fucking dick slingers like me running around.
You with your
she's gonna look at her
your computer fucking.
She's gonna look at you with your little 3-inch peen and go fucking no. And I've heard that out of the mouths of fucking Chinese girls who say shit like that in those interviews. They're like, no. Dude thinks they think it's hilarious that dudes will fucking, who with very little experience and nothing really special about them and no outstanding attributes, let's just say it that way, will just think that they're the fucking God's gift to fucking.
That's entitlement.
And and can't go down and can't do it. They just no experience at all, but they just think that they're fucking great. And a lot of these women have been run through by real professionals. You know what I mean? So you're not going to stack up. You're going to have to work on that.
I think that's kind of at the root of it. I think they're afraid that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think generally the fear is, and why a lot of dudes are like, oh, I don't want some woman that's had like a lot of partners before me or like had a high body count or whatever, is because one, she's gonna know if you suck in bed, because she has like a lot of experience, and she's not gonna put up with it. So I think that's kind of where that comes from. So they have to like disparage her. She's just a hoe. I wouldn't want her anyway. Yeah,
exactly. They reword it a different way. Like we were talking about the manosphere, right? Shit. Some of the younger ones, they reword shit in a way, and I go, I like what you did there, bro. That's tricky, but keep deceiving yourself. They'll say these women with high body counts, they can't bond with a man. And I know for a fact, says, yeah, they can. They just can't bond with you.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Well, that's generally what is always the case.
Because you're standard, you're regular. All right, that's not really what they're looking for. And you impress a girl, she'll be all over you, And really, if she has a higher body count, a lot of times she's more grateful because she's got 9 miles of bad road behind her.
Yeah, and
she's like, this is a good one.
She probably had a lot of bad experiences, just statistically speaking.
Yeah, I'm sure that some of these girls that have had, come from some of these cultures that guys will marry that, like they're marrying these girls in the Philippines or fucking Thailand and shit, and these girls were bar girls, they're sex workers. Some of them make great wives because they don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, and they're just like,
they probably got out of that.
Yeah, shit. They probably didn't really want to do it to start with, but they didn't really have many options.
Right, yeah.
So it's just like, thank God, I don't have to fucking do that anymore.
That was because they came from poverty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was just kind of like out of desperation. Not like they chose that, really.
Right.
And Oracle says, we aren't just supposed to control the pussy, we're supposed to control the effect we have on a dick.
There you go.
Which is 60 kinds of bullshit. It
is.
Yeah, we just have to do everything. Yeah. We have to do everything, and we're always wrong, and it's always our fault. That's just, that's how it goes. SideQuest says, you have to remember they also didn't exactly believe women had a sex drive at all. Which is
that was hilarious.
Which is hilarious.
That's hilarious. That was a Catholic thing.
Yeah, because the ancient Greeks, I feel like.
Oh no, they thought women. They
thought women were horned off, like more than men.
Yeah,
like men had to like fight women off because they were just.
I'm going to tell you stories about that.
Like harpies that were coming after them, but then I feel like after Christianity came along, it like the script got flipped a little bit.
In certain Greek states, city-states that they had. Basically what was going I think this is the golden age. It wasn't later, like in the Hellenistic period when they were becoming more Roman, and more global, okay? I think it was the Greek age, if I remember correctly. I was reading something about a dude who was telling his story when he went to one of these Greek city-states, and I forgot which one it was, but what he describes is it was a place filled with statues of boys and men, all right, where all the men were basically they were gay, they were with boys and other men. They had women, they were wives, but they were more like kept at home, all right, to raise children, mostly to raise other men, other boys. So it was very kind of like the opposite of, say, like where Wonder Woman came from, a female-dominated society, and the dudes are kind of kept around as second-class citizens or whatever. That's what they were doing with these women. Well, the guy said he was in that place, walking down the middle of the street, and the wives would all be sticking out of their heads out of the windows of the fucking street he was going down, all catcalling the men. And then making comments about the men to the other women, like, basically they're going to look at the booty on him and all that kind of weird shit. They were doing that. And they were trying to get dudes to come into the house. Yeah. And he was just going, these women were unacceptable, these dirty whores, these dirty sluts. But that's the way women are.
Not wrong with
that kind of shit. So the whole thing about men being the aggressors and women being demure, it's a modern concept.
It is, yeah.
The Greeks thought it was the other way around. It's because they put women so low on the totem pole that I'm sure that psychologically kind of fucked those women up.
Mm-hmm.
They saw dudes as the catch, and they saw themselves as garbage, because that's kind of how they were treated. They were treated kind of like garbage. So they were kind of like punching up.
Yeah.
Hey, get me out of here. Let's fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, you look hot. And evidently it is because dudes didn't want to have sex with them.
Yeah. Well, they were too busy with the boys.
Too busy with boys. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The boys were considered to be like the ultimate in beauty. And they dressed them as girls, but they were boys, so therefore they were pure. They were spiritually clean. Which, that's some weird shit, too. In those cultures, women were spiritually unclean. I guess because, and they'll come out and say, because of the period.
That dirty menstruation.
Dirty menstruation.
We just can't even help it.
Yeah, they're dirty. The women are dirty. So that really freaked ancient men out. That's weird. And they thought that
like seriously, a grown man that can't deal with a fucking period, that is not a grown man.
Yeah.
that is a man baby.
Well, it was thousands of years ago.
Still.
And it evidently didn't last long because you're gonna have fucking birth rate problems. There were birth rate problems. All right.
Ridiculous.
More heterosexual city-states outcompeted the homosexual city-states. They had more children. They defeated them. Eventually, when you start talking about the Hellenistic period, what they're describing is more kind of like a relationship between men and women that you'd find today, or in the 20th century. They were kind of like separate or different but equal kind of things, where they were male and female. I guess you could say male and female were kind of like two opposites that created a whole, like yin and yang, that kind of thing. They started getting into more of that. And they may have gotten that from Egypt, though, because they were dealing with the Egyptians. And evidently Egypt was like that.
SideQuest says, I was talking to a guy who tried... Oh, this is very common. Who tried to tell me you can tell a woman's been with a lot of guys because she has a loose vagina.
No.
That is an
Absolutely false
myth. And here's the weird thing. They never seem to think... They always think if a woman's been with a lot of guys, then her pussy must be loose.
No.
But if she fucks the same dude...
every day.
Like
3 or 4
every
times
day.
a day, she's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's still the same number of dicks. It's just the same dick as opposed to different dicks.
The only difference I've ever noticed is women that have kind of recently have a child.
But I mean, if you recently have, that tears your vagina up.
Well, I think they're just kind of more roomy also. And,
like, because most of the time it tears it, they have to sew it back up, and, like, it takes a long time to heal, you know what I mean?
Right.
But,
well, now she had a kid like a year, 18 months before. So, but it's just, I think you can, maybe it was just genetic for her.
And everyone's is different too. Like everyone's is different shape, different size, different, just like any other body part.
Yeah.
Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, some of them are wider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them are just tighter, some of them are looser.
Yeah, some of you bottom out real early.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, and it's not weird. It's like, and I'm glad that like on the internet now, because like I'm on a Reddit forum that's like just, for women stuff. And there's like a lot of girls on there that are real young and they don't know a lot of shit. Like, so they're like asking because they're too embarrassed, you know what I mean? It's like, about periods and, is my vagina weird or anything like that. And it's like really sad. It was like, it's not sad because like then everybody will come on and like be like, no, baby, it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's like everybody has their own thing going on. But it's just that whole loose vagina thing, I just wish that would fucking die, because that is an absolute myth. And it's just kind of like, look, you see all those porn stars that stick giant stuff up their butt? It doesn't make their asshole gape open.
No.
That whole muscle is supposed to go back to that size.
Yeah.
It doesn't just hang there open like a hole. You know what I mean?
I've heard some complain, though, that it's easier to have accidents once you're real skilled in that.
I get that.
But
it's just kind of like, and the thing about it too, and we've talked about that as well, is like usually when you see those type of porn videos, it's like they build up to that. They don't
they're like acrobats.
Yeah, like you have to build up to that. You have to like with bigger and bigger plugs and stuff like that. It's like a whole process that you have to do.
I can't imagine that shit, man. But they got, that's girls' gig. That's how they're making a living.
Yeah.
They'll do that shit on live streams and stuff, and they might be doing that off and on most of the day. And over a period of a few years, they get better and better at it. But I've seen some of those fucking anal acrobat chicks that can fucking basically just take fucking... like, I'd look at that and they go, no, that would kill you. You can't get... That won't go in there. I guess it did.
But it does.
It did go in there.
I know. I'm actually kind of amazed, too. It's like they'll just like this big, huge thing like that. It's like this big around.
No, it's not, the length doesn't get me, because you got intestines. The large intestines are fucking...
Well, yeah, I know.
As long as it bends, as long as whatever's going in there bends, it'll follow the... What gets me is the fucking girth, man.
Yeah.
Like, there are some girls that can take something about the size of a fucking medium coffee can.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that big. Anal.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's not even that pointed. It might be kind of flat, and they can still get it in there. And it's just, and that's part of their gag. That's part of the fucking trick.
Well, yeah, that's a whole sub.
Yeah, it's like, I could do that. That's it's like,
all right.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody's good at something.
Yeah.
I'm not disparaging. I can't do that.
Man.
I mean, I guess I could if I practiced, but that's all right.
We're going to put you on now. We have a whole crazy training schedule.
You really want to see me stick a Folgers coffee can up my butt?
No.
You would love that. Come on.
It would be hot, but it would take a
See, I do it.
It
would be hot. I knew it. Other day we were watching. What were we watching? I think we were watching Species 2. Yeah. And wasn't there like a strip club in there? He's like, I'm gonna make you go to stripper pole classes.
Yeah.
He's gonna make me go to stripper pole classes.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Jen picking up some kind of like a intramural sport, which would have been like yoga or dance
I've been thinking
class,
about doing yoga.
Or yoga or dance class.
If there's anything like that to do around
the thing
here,
is that Jen is like, yeah, but I could do that here at home.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, no, I'd rather have you go with a bunch of chicks and do this shit as a group so you can get out of the house. You need like friends that do shit.
Yeah, like I said, it'd be good if there was something close by.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot around here. But I don't know. I have been thinking about doing yoga, but we'll see. It's just I'm always so busy, you know what I mean? I'd probably have to do it on the weekend or in the evenings, and I don't know if I really want to do that. I've done Tai Chi in the park, no. There's not even any parks around here. There's like nothing. There's stuff around here, it's just nothing really like that. Stevie said, just think how much better it would be if women gave birth like in Species 2. Would it be better to have babies just bust out of... I mean, I guess it'd be better than having like a big, huge bowling ball thing coming out of a very small hole. But I don't know. I've never had children, so I wouldn't know how that feels. But I can imagine, though. I can imagine what it feels like. And it's... not for me, no thanks.
Yeah, but the stripper pole dancing is good because you get a lot of strength on that pole.
Thank you.
Upper body strength, lower body strength. And then you get good dance moves and how to like use expression and like, expressive postures, which would all translate back over really to the dance floor because, me and Jen dance
a lot.
Once a week at least. We go to the club. And you pick up a lot of moves. And there's also the walk, just the walk that they do, it's kind of the way a model walks. But you just kind of you go into character once you learn all the things you go through it. It's the same thing we were learning in theater class, really. It's just that one's more being a pole dancer.
Yeah, Oracle said, I find it laughable that theoretically these men know how babies are born, but they think their penises are somehow more powerful than a baby's head. Yeah, it's just kind of like, a baby is much, much larger than a dick. You know what I mean? That's coming out of there, so.
Yeah, but her body grows for that, and it starts to fucking change for that, too. You couldn't have a baby right now. If I were to teleport a baby into you and say, give birth to that, using a Star Trek transporter, it'd probably kill you.
Don't you dare put that baby.
It probably would kill you. Because you'd rip something somewhere.
Well, most women do rip.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people know that, but it rips you open. Most women have to be stitched.
Some guys will cut you
back together.
Doctors will cut a little bit.
Yeah, they cut it.
And then they stitch it back.
So it's not even... Because that's the thing. Human women... Well, it's more the baby's fault, honestly. Like, human babies, their heads are so big that... women, I read a couple whole books about this. Like, women's pelvises can't be any wider.
Yeah, and I was thinking...
or we wouldn't be able to walk right.
I thought during pregnancy, though, the female pelvis actually got a little bit wider.
I don't think it does.
I thought it did.
I don't think it does.
Or bends a little bit. Or I don't remember.
But they're just saying that that human pelvises can't really get any bigger than they are. And so that's why you have a problem now. That's why childbirth is so painful for humans and not so much for other animals. And that's why a lot of times, like, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of women do have to, it will tear their vagina or they have to cut it and something like that to get the baby out.
Listen what Tammy said. Well, Tom, why don't you take pole classes?
Yeah.
And said, well, I already talked about that. I don't remember, a few months back. How long ago was that? I actually started thinking about opening up a company with male dancers.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
And that would have been one of the things I would have done. But the thing is that you got to go to specialized courses for that, or you got to hire a real talented male stripper who's been trained properly, and he comes in and fucking teaches you these moves. You'll see a lot of that. There's some of that stuff online. You can see it. But I have experience, with theater and dance when I was a kid. I wouldn't try to learn off of fucking YouTube. I want an instructor, you know. But it takes probably, for me, it would probably take me a good 4 months to become an effective stripper. Because there's certain moves that they have to have. I could fake some of it, but I would want the real training from the experience.
Senor Stick said you have the mustache for it.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, though, is that those male dancers, fucking one of them was like my ex-brother-in-law, my first wife's brother-in-law. Her sister's husband was a male stripper, and she was a female stripper. They make all kinds of money. He now owns a strip club here in Miami. He's too old to dance, but he's my age, but he's not dancing. And he was a big 6'1", fucking jacked, semi-muscle dude who could fucking dance. And fucking they would do the all-male reviews, the male dances, and they made a lot of money.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Women throw money at him, and he said that because he said that the female clients were fucking 10 times worse, 100 times worse than male clients.
I've heard that because it's like bachelorette parties.
Bachelorette parties.
Those chicks get crazy.
They think that it's their right to suck your dick.
Yeah.
And to grab you and shit like that. Because you're a man. What are you going to do?
I never been to them.
You're going to go call the cops? So some of those dudes actually incorporate that into their act. Of like, yeah, pop it in your mouth. Pop it in your mouth. Okay, go for one, pop it in your... He's not really doing it, just a little bit by a little bit.
If your wife-to-be is going to a bachelorette party...
You better watch it.
And there's a male stripper...
Yeah.
I've never been to one of those.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I've been to some baby showers. I don't think I've ever been to a bachelorette party now that I think about it. I was in a wedding, but she didn't have a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Or if she did, we didn't do strippers.
Yeah,
that was cheesy.
The most the female stripper's gonna do to a guy is fucking, rub his face in between her titties. You know, and fucking shit. I can go to the fucking biker bar and fucking get fucking
get Amy to do it.
Get Amy to do that. Fucking Jen's sitting right next to me, and she goes, "You want that? You next?" She's awesome, But that would be like the worst, the worst that or most they'll ever give you. Those dudes in those acts when they'll hire 4 of them to go to a bachelorette parties at a private establishment. And I've seen videos of that happening.
I've heard about that happening.
And
too.
Man, the shit they do.
It's crazy. I would not.
You could technically get in trouble for that.
I'm not putting some rando's dick in my mouth. Fuck off.
Yeah, and they're doing it like it's a dare.
Yeah, it's like I don't hang out. I don't hang out with chicks like that.
Yeah.
So that's like a normie chick
dancing,
thing.
Yeah, like normie chicks. Be dancing like this and fucking reach down and put fucking whipped cream on his jock.
I'd be like,
and you gotta be well built to do that shit. But he'll fucking lay that shit down like that, you know what I mean? The girls will lick that shit off the top of his dick, and he'll move on to the next one and just... I understand it. They're having fun. They're fucking drunk.
Yeah, I get it. Like, they're all drinking and stuff like that.
And it's like a lark. They're not really taking it that seriously, but they're doing that.
I'm just saying, personally, I would not.
No. But women, when you get a bunch of them, in a fucking crowd,
they're all like...
They start egging each other on. Yeah. It's like a herd mentality.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't really hang out with chicks like that, and...
Yeah.
I don't hang out with anybody that would have a male stripper
I guarantee
at a bachelorette party, so...
I guarantee you those male strippers think it's hilarious. They don't really take it that seriously.
Well, it's kind of like the dynamic is not the same because they don't have anything to fear.
Right. They can't be raped by a crowd of women.
Right, by a bunch of women and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like...
Yeah, and that's why the women are doing that.
Yeah, because it's like a safe environment.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
This is a dude, it's like he paid him to be there. He's not going to stalk you or anything. You know what I mean? There's no danger... going on, so it's just kind of like all bets are off. I guess
you would think I'm 55, that he's too old for that. No, fucking, it's usually those troops are a mixture. It's young guys, old guys, but they're all jacked. You all gotta look good, and they're all trained at what they're doing because the female audience wants a variety, very much like guys. They'll have like it'll be basically kind of like a white troop, but there'll be Hispanic guys and a black guy in there, but you just gotta be, it's something for everybody, like variety. Women like that. And they'll have tall ones and they'll have fucking shorter ones, but it's all guys with beards, without, because they're doing acts like dancing like the firemen, or doing, like the village people, basically.
Yeah.
They go through the whole village. One of them's an Indian, one of them's a cop, one of them's a this.
That's so cheeseball.
Yeah.
I guess it's just
one's the doctor.
It's not really my thing, I
yeah.
guess. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. I get like why some people like it, but I think it's cheeseball.
It's normie. It's, what do you call it?
That's what I mean.
Very mainstream. Very mainstream.
So I'm just like, that's not really
very mainstream.
I've never really been into that.
I mean, but the thing is okay, like, what I think is less mainstream that I think is a good nude and semi-nude dancing is retro burlesque.
Oh, now I like that.
That looks great, especially when you got goth girls doing retro burlesque and shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's no male equivalent to that, and there'd be
no market.
Sadly. And there'd be no market.
I would watch that. Like,
yeah,
more
but you're
than...
not gonna get Bachelorette parties.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would watch that, but
yeah.
it's like I'm a weirdo, evidently.
Yeah, you're weird.
So, I know.
They're gonna want somebody who looks like a football player, a cop, a fucking all that basic, a cowboy.
No thanks. That's some basic bitch shit right
there.
there.
Basic. They're going real basic bitch shit.
Like, honestly, I'm just not into it.
A hip hop guy.
If there was like a male burlesque,
yeah,
like a similar kind of thing. I kind of like the female burlesque too because it's not as raunchy or in your face, but it's a lot more like stylized and like the outfits are cool and everything like that. So I kind of like that better, honestly, because there's more. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just more style to it, I guess. I like that better. SideQuest had to go to bed. She's got to get up early. So, good night, and if you're still here. CB said, I'm a dude. I think it's funny when guys pass out at the birth. That is kind of very funny.
Pass out at the what?
When their wives give birth and stuff. It's like, but you're not even doing this. Like, what? Like, get up.
I actually heard a woman, a marriage counselor, a psychologist, I don't remember what it was. She recommended that men not be there for the birth. She said you should be there when she's having birth, and when the birth starts, you should leave. Because she said she noticed that a lot of dudes, after that, fucking really kind of like couldn't get it up.
Yeah, I've heard that, actually. Because they saw that happen.
Because they saw that happen, and it somehow can fucking fuck some dude's mind up. I don't... Because now he no longer sees her in a sexual way. So, my recommendation is, be there for it. But when the birth starts, give her fucking privacy. I mean, in the olden days, and not even really old days, there were certain parts of the world, a woman would be working on the day that she fucking gives birth, runs out of the rice paddy and fucking squats down and sits there and gives birth to the fucking baby. Takes care of it, puts it in a fucking bundle, puts it on her back, and goes right back to work. Like it didn't even fucking happen. I think that's bizarre, but it just goes to show you how tough women are.
Well, we have to be.
Yeah. And women were built...
Look at the crap our bodies go through.
Women were...
Now
Women were built to give birth in the wild with very little knowledge and assistance. Okay? You can still get it. You can still have a baby with no knowledge.
I mean, it might not work out so great if it's breech or something
you
like
might
that.
Die.
But you'd probably die.
But that's why they died in the past.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, chances are, no, they're fine, and you really don't need a hospital. You really don't need people.
Most of the time. I mean, I would rather be in one just in case something went wrong.
Primitive people do it with no. We call them primitives, but they're just natural people living in the wild. They do it with almost no assistance, basically.
Now I'm kind of now that you said that, because I had heard that too about like men not wanting to be in the birth. It's like, and I'm just like, we never had kids, but now I'm kind of thinking. Like, would I want you in there?
I think a lot of women wouldn't want them in there. They don't want to be seen in that.
It would. You know what? It's like I'm kind of two minds. I'm trying to think about if we were in that situation, and I was just kind of like, I would like you to be there just as support system, but I don't know if I'd want you to watch me going through that. I wouldn't think so.
I want you to be with a bunch of women who knows what's going on and going to get you through it, midwives, basically.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I'm sure I don't look my best right now.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to scream some obscenities.
Let that woman have some fucking. Let her have some fucking privacy.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a rite of passage for a woman to go through that shit anyway. So, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, maybe it would be.
I think it's best probably not the guy not to be there for the actual birth.
But the thing about it is that I can see why some dudes might want to, and some dudes it doesn't bother them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just depends on the guy, I guess. But...
Well, if the woman asks you to stay...
Yeah. Then
as a dude, I'd say, okay, it's coming. Look, I'm going to wait outside. I'll be waiting for you the whole time, this and that. And if you say, no, don't go, then I'll stay.
Then you would stay, yeah.
Right.
But like I said...
knowing you'd probably say, yeah, come back when this is over. Because I had that feeling.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's like, yeah, I don't really want him to see me like this.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be like this. It's like I would rather people not see me in this fucking situation.
Shit, my dad was dying. He didn't want to see me. Didn't want to see anybody.
Yeah,
I want to thank y'all for coming, man. But
I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah, my dad was dying in the hospital. I said, "How you doing, Dad?" He goes, "Hey, yeah." And then he makes an announcement. I want to thank y'all for coming, but go ahead and go home. Go ahead and go home.
Yeah, he wanted everybody to.
He wanted to die.
He didn't want anybody to see him like that.
Didn't want anybody to see him like that.
But I get that.
Yeah, and I said, "Nah, Dad, we're gonna stand right here with you." He says, "You got this. You're looking good, man. Your numbers are getting better." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, you're looking a little better." He knew we were lying, though.
Yeah, I mean, he knew. But
yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, Senior Stick says, Jenny, you didn't see Magic Mike then. I did not. I had no interest.
I heard it's a great, funny movie.
It probably is. I mean, I might watch it one of these days, but it's just like, I know everybody was like, fucking creaming their jeans about it, but I was just kind of like, man.
I heard it's hilarious.
It doesn't really sound. But Tammy makes a point. She's like, strippers aren't my thing either, but I love the movie The Full Monty. Same. And, well, the thing about The Full Monty
Maybe
is
that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of The Full Monty.
No. Not Magic Mike.
Yeah,
Magic Mike is kind of about, like, Chippendale type.
Okay,
that kind of thing.
I was thinking Full Monty was supposed to be hilarious.
No, Full Monty is awesome.
Yeah.
But the thing about Full Monty is that, yes, it's about strippers, but they're just regular working class British dudes
trying to become
who
strippers.
Look not that great.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like they're trying to raise money in this depressed town, and they're like, they see the Chippendales come through and like the women, and they make all this money, and they're like, man, we should do that.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of laughing at them because they look like, working class British dudes. Yeah. But it's kind of...
They're not in shape for it.
It's kind of heartwarming, though, and it's super funny. Like, all the characters are really funny and, like, relatable, and, like, them training to do it, and they're just like, the one fat one is just like trying to like put plastic wrap around himself like to lose weight and stuff like that. It's adorable, honestly. It's really, really good. I saw that in the theater, but like I said, that's not so much about the strippers. It's about them being strippers, them being characters, and kind of like learning to accept themselves like the way they are, and like have them do it, you know what I mean?
Make another drink, go to the restroom, be back.
And then they did it, and it was like really popular. Like, everybody came to see them, even though they didn't look like the Chippendales guys, you know what I mean? So I'll watch a movie like that. But when I remember when there was that big hype about Magic Mike, and I was just kind of like, honestly, if I'm gonna watch a movie about strippers, I'd rather watch one about female strippers, to be honest with you. Let me see. Where was Oracle said I'm old enough that my dad wasn't allowed in the room when I was born, but he was where he could watch. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a moot point now because I'm too old, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want Tom in the room with me. I would at first, but I'd probably be like, yeah, no. This is gonna get ugly. Yeah, Xander said, I've never been to a strip club either. It's not my thing either. Yeah, I mean, we went to a strip club. We've, told the story before. We went to Rachel's, but we went because a bunch of our friends were going because one of our bartenders from one of the goth clubs was doing, like, a bartender contest or whatever. Like, whichever bartender from whichever bar, like, makes the most money. So all the goth people, like, came out to support him. Hector, his name was. And it was at Rachel's, like, at the strip club. We had a good time. But, it's funny because when there's goth chicks in the strip club, all the strippers want to make friends, and they just want to come over and tell you all their problems and shit like that, because they're just used to like dealing with like shitty ass men all the time. So they see girls, they're like, oh, thank God, please talk to me, you know what I mean? So it was just kind of like, so we had fun in that way. Everybody got super, super hammered, but we had a blast. That's the only time I've been to a strip club, I think. Now maybe one other time. A long time ago. I don't remember. It wasn't my choice. I was with a bunch of people and they went. But I don't remember much about it because it was a long time ago. Let me see. Yeah, Oracle said he told me the first thing he said was, what's all that stuff on my daughter? Oh my God. They really didn't teach dudes anything about women's anatomy or childbirth or anything, did they? Because they're like, let those ladies handle that. That's yucky woman stuff. Senor Sticks is asking if we are fans of the Terrifier series. Not a massive fan, but I did like all the movies. We're probably gonna go see the third one this weekend, maybe. we're thinking about it.
Yeah, the two that I saw, I thought they were great.
Yeah. And we also saw, well, I saw All Hallows Eve, which was the anthology movie that introduced Art the Clown. That came out in 2013. Yeah, Oracle said, my brother-in-law was in the birthing room with my sister, but up by her head. I think he left during the C-section, though. Yeah, I mean, I can see, like, not really wanting to watch that, too. You know? Skinny-ass Robert Carlyle. Yeah, he was in Full Monty. That was such a great movie. Man, we should review that. You've never seen it?
What?
The Full Monty?
No.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I saw it in the theater.
I think it was the Phantom that said that casinos and strip clubs are a waste of time and money. Yeah. For a dude.
They definitely are.
Yeah. Now, there are certain... You can go into a casino and maybe have a chance of coming out with more money than you than you went in if you know how to... There's a couple different things you can do. I made money in them in the Mississippi Gulf Coast area, but not reliably. And the more you go in there, the more you're going to lose. If you go in there and you can win, I was $300 up, and I said, "That's it. I'm leaving."
Yeah.
And I left with that $300. All right.
I mean, yeah, quit while you're ahead.
Quit while I was ahead. Yeah. And I was doing that on the roulette table, betting two on the outside, and I just let it go. But and that's because I wasn't a skilled card player. If you're going to play against the house, your best chances are blackjack. If you're a skilled blackjack player. Some people would say the best thing to do is to follow the dealer's advice every fucking time. And sometimes you'll do better than you would if you know what I mean? Like the dealer says, should I hit? What do you think? You can just do what the dealer says. Sometimes you might come out ahead. But really, the only one you can consistently make a living off of is poker. Because you're not playing against house. You're playing against other tourists.
But you have to be really good.
You got to be good, though. Yeah. And what those guys do, they were doing this at Harris. They were doing this at fucking Pirate Bay. They were doing this at fucking, what was that other one they used to go to? All of them. They'll run around in fucking Winnebagos, big mobile homes. And they'll stay out in the parking lot. They can plug in. They even got some places where they can rent and get sewage. But mostly they just plug in. And they'll stay there for fucking weeks. On the blackjack table. All right? They're getting free drinks. They're eating.
From the free buffet.
From the free buffet. And they wait for fucking people to sit down at the table that they think don't know what the hell's going on. And they'll go over there and they'll take all their money. All right. Card sharks. That's what it's called. All right. Now, the house got some of that money. The house never loses. If the house loses, that game would not exist. The house always wins. Always. Statistically. But the thing is that the winnings are shared on the blackjack table with the house. You're winning and the fucking house is winning too. You're sharing it. They're taking a cut. So that's really the only one you can reliably count on. But you got to be a great fucking poker player and a great judge of character. You got to fucking look at a table. And I had poker players tell me this, okay? Because I knew some of them. You see, you had to be able to look at a table and fucking see who was good at that table and be able to figure out who was good, and you had to figure out who was pretending to be bad. All right? So you know who was who. Because you got people in there pretending not to know what the fuck's going on. And if that table looks good, you sit down in there and you start trying to take other people's money. Dude told me, he said the most important thing is to know what not table to sit down at. So that's what you're looking for. A warning sign to go, I ain't going there. That dude right there, I know that motherfucker. You know, it's that kind of shit. Because they're regulars.
Yeah, Xana is saying, sports betting, roulette, poker, craps, blackjack, stay away from the slot machine.
Yeah, slot machines, one-arm bandit.
That's just, yeah.
One-arm bandit, you will lose.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's there for people that don't know how to play poker or don't really know how to
play any of the games. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's easy to do. You just keep feeding fucking money into it.
And it's not random. It's controlled. They control where the jackpots are going to hit. It ain't random.
I mean,
There's never a guarantee that those games are not rigged. Nowhere will you see anywhere in that fucking casino that our games are not rigged. They're rigged. They're rigged. But some of those games when you're playing against a bunch of people, you can't rig against a crowd. Somebody's going to win.
Yeah.
You're like on a blackjack table, you know?
The thing about it is that I guess I never really had that mentality. I never really had enough spare money that I would piss away. Because I knew that I would probably just lose it. And it doesn't seem fun to me.
The main day I remember is when I had $100. I was with my first wife, and I says, look, I'm willing to lose this $100. Let's go in there and go get some food and drink, and I'll blow this $100. I'll make it last as long as it can. She's like, all right. I went in there, and fucking an hour later, I was $300 up. And fucking, and she goes, you know, that's my rent, right? And I said, that is, isn't it? He goes, yeah, because she rented a room from her employer, all right, at a campsite. It was pretty nice. It was a room with a kitchen dinette and the other ones were rented out to guests. But so she was kind of like living in a motel room, or a full motel room with a kitchen and bathrooms and everything. And I said, and she goes, that's my whole rent. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. And I thought about it, and I think maybe I did one more roll. All right. And I says, okay. And I think I might have lost that one. I went, okay, that's it. Yeah. That's it. And I took that $300 after I cashed my chips out and fucking gave it to her. She goes, what's this? And says, that's for you pay your rent. And she goes, thank you. Because I wasn't married to her at the time. I was dating her still, but spending most of the weekends at her house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I paid her rent for her. And fucking, no, we went back later, but I lost. But it was always like something under 200.
Yeah.
And the way we looked at it, well, we got to eat and we got to drink, and we were there for an hour and a half, and really it only cost us $75.
Yeah, which is what it would cost for a nice meal
night out. Yeah.
Alcohol anyway.
Right.
So
because drinks are free.
Right. So that's the thing, and that's what I think.
Buffet was not free though.
Yeah.
But what would happen is that the girls that were given the drinks, if you gave her a big tip, like a $10 tip, she would come back around to give you the next drink and give you a fucking
like a voucher,
a coupon for the fucking for the buffet.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to get people to stay there for as long as possible.
Right. So I'd give her like a $10 tip, and fucking the next time she come over, she'd come with two free buffet meals.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Because that was just kind of the thing that you did.
Yeah.
You know, they knew the deal.
Which, like I said, that's
you
still
help
like
me, I'll help
cheap.
you. Yeah, that's still cheap. They never lose.
I mean, shit. We go to the steakhouse and that's like over $100.
Over $100
just for two of us. So it's just kind of like, and that's not even with booze.
Right.
Well, no, I think we got one drink each.
Yeah, with one drink each. Yeah, it was about $100.
I think it was 100 and something.
But it was worth it though. I mean, the steaks are 50.
Yeah.
50 something, and then no, okay, so yeah, so it was like 120. Because then we had drinks, and drinks are almost 20 each, so it might have been 140, huh?
No, they weren't that much.
Like $10 each.
The one I had was $12.
$12 each, okay.
And I think yours was.
I think it was like 125.
I think it was something
like that. Yeah.
But it was our anniversary thing.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah, and I got that big ass steak.
Yeah.
You got the smaller steak though, I think.
Yeah, because I can't.
You can't.
Unfortunately, I can't eat a big ass steak as much as I would like to.
Right.
Like I can only
making me want that steak, man.
we have to go tomorrow.
We're gonna go get some steak. Yeah.
Well, we went yesterday to Momiji, the Japanese place.
Yeah. It was
and I got they had like a hibachi lunch, and they had one with filet mignon.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking, man, that's going to be that.
Well, it was $17.
Yeah.
Which is a little steep for lunch, but not really. I mean,
for filet mignon.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, I'm going to try that out. Mignon. And it came with, you got fried rice and like and vegetables, and I got soup with it too.
It was like a piece that big, a cubed filet mignon with a bunch of fucking rice and everything else.
It was
and I looked at that and I go, that's actually a decent amount of protein.
It was a lot. Yeah. It was a lot more.
I might get that next.
I mean, yeah, it was really
because there's only a couple dollars more than the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because even like the chicken one was like 14 or 15, so I was like, it's only $2 or $3 more.
Yeah, and it's about the same amount of meat.
Yeah, and it was really good. I mean, every time we've eaten there, and it's right up the street from us, which is crazy.
Yeah.
They do sushi too, but and they do really good for their lunch special. They do like a really good like a bento box lunch. Yeah. And I usually get the one with what do you call it? The tempura, like shrimp and vegetables, and then it comes with that, and then it comes with sushi, and it comes with like a few other things. Like
Sticks is asking if there's any gambling in Florida. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, the Seminole
reservation.
Tribe on the reservation in Tampa.
Yeah.
Is it? It was, well, it might be Lakeland.
We haven't been there.
I haven't been there. I don't think.
It's probably nice. Probably very nice.
And that's the thing. Like on Seminoles own Hard Rock casinos, at least in Florida. I don't know if they do in other states, but so it's legal.
Yeah.
If you go in the Hard Rock.
If you don't live in the United States, what we're talking about is that most states have kind of banned gambling for some odd reason. It was a boomer thing. Pre-boomer thing, actually. Greatest generation. Those old motherfuckers, they just thought gambling was a fucking sin. So they banned gambling in most places.
They were like not fun people at all.
The thing is that most of the states, especially in the southern regions, have Indian reservations. And technically, that's not inside the United States' border.
Yeah, they have their own laws.
That's a miniature country. So what they did was the casinos got in with the Indians. They says, look, man, let us build a casino on your land, and we'll profit share with you and everybody from your tribe, and give you all kind of fucking bonuses and perks. And all this money will come in. Those dudes got rich. Fucking rich, the whole tribes. If your tribe's got a fucking casino, you're doing good. You can go into those casinos, and they did shit like on the casino compound right out here. We'll build a whole tribe houses, fucking everything, a whole fucking community. So the tribe gets built up. It looks like lower upper class or upper middle class. It's like their houses like this. That's where they live, and then they give them free perks on some of those reservations. If you're a tribal member, you can eat in the fucking buffet free.
Yeah, and a lot of them working there too.
Yeah, a lot of them working in there, but you can eat in the buffet for free. So they just like, you hungry? Yeah, let's go. Let's go to the casino, go to the buffet, and they'll just walk right in. They got some kind of card that shows them that they're a tribal resident. They go in there and get something to eat, and their booze is free. If you're just hanging out on the floor,
I'd get in big trouble.
You don't even have. The drinks are weak, but the booze is free. Yeah. And it's hard liquor, and it's good shit.
You can just like drink as much as
you
want.
So they'll just hang out, watch other people gamble and fucking drink.
They'll lose all
fucking
their money.
give a tip to the fucking waitress. And, yeah. Now, I'm sure we might have some tribal people listening. That was what I was told. I don't know if it's like that on every reservation.
Yeah, because
it might be different.
Xanada said some tribes got rich, the ones without casinos didn't. He said, I'm 25% native, never got any money because my tribe is poor.
Yeah, you got to have a casino.
Yeah. Well, like I said, in Florida, the Seminoles...
They got a casino.
Own the Hard Rock Casino.
They took care of them, bro. They broke them off. And they don't really have to do much of anything other than, like, vote in their, like, tribal councils, which is kind of like, community, where are we going to build a road? They're just doing that kind of shit. The casinos handle everything. But like I said, they also employ the Indians. So yeah, that was a great deal for them. Same thing with Arabs in the oil business. When Chevron and Standard Oil moved to Saudi Arabia, there was no oil refineries there. It was fucking Bedouins and Arabians with camels and shit back in the fucking 20s and 30s. They went in there and built those refineries and made those countries very rich, and they started to grow their own upper class, almost a royal class. They run it now, but it used to be the American oil companies basically managed everything. Now they have their own. They handle that end of it.
I mean, we've kind of talked about that it might be fun to go to a casino one of these days, and
you got to have extra time. That's the problem.
That's the thing, and it's like
it's kind of far from here.
It's kind of far, and I'm just always kind of like, man, we're probably gonna lose money, and I don't really know.
You have to agree. This is what we're gonna lose.
Yeah. Well, that's what Oracle's
Once
saying.
this is gone, we gotta leave.
Yeah, it's just kind of like this is the set amount. Once we've gone through that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just always like I can see why some people like it. It's just it's never my first choice for like entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can see why some people like it though. I was like, we were at my mom's today, and I swear to God, I heard my brother say, I'm gonna have to look this up. He said that there's a cruise around in Florida somewhere. I don't remember where it was. But like, I think he said it was like the Margaritaville cruise. So I don't know if it has some shit to do with Jimmy Buffett or whatever. I think he said it was either 3 days or 3 hours, and he said it only cost $33, and all the booze and food was free. And I was just kind of like, what? I don't even like cruises, but I'm like, tell me more. You know what I mean?
Actually, I heard that before. My mom said something about, why don't you guys go on a cruise? What are we talking about? Oh, those things are so fun. They're cheap, and you get free food, and you just fucking party. It's like being in a floating hotel, and you can see shows. And I was thinking, man, that sounds like some boring old people shit.
It does kind of sound like
some real boring old people.
And honestly, I'm not real big on the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
You might get me to do like maybe a river cruise.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be in the fucking middle of the Atlantic though.
Evidently some of those cruise lines are so desperate at certain times of the year and inconvenient times. You know how you can do like the price line with the flights and shit?
Yeah.
You can get something that's basically at cost. $100 a person, it's a week. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
All expenses paid, all the food and everything's in it included. Which means that they're probably just breaking even. They're just trying to fill a room.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like, I don't know. And like I said, I kind of feel like that's the reason why a lot of people like doing casinos and cruises and stuff like that, because it's kind of all in one, like it's all inclusive. Yeah. Like you just go and there's like a big buffet and you can eat whatever you want, and I don't know, because like my sister was saying that too. It's like she went to Vegas and she's like, I was just going for the buffets, man. I don't really give a shit about gambling or nothing like that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, in Mississippi, that's mostly what it was.
Yeah.
People going to the buffet. The buffets were fucking great, man.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the food would be the main attraction.
Yeah,
more than the gambling. I'll just be over here eating.
Some of those buffets would have like everything you could ever think of, including Chinese food. And over here on this end, they got fucking all you can eat Alaskan crab legs, fucking lobster tails, the smaller ones though, not the big ones. Lobster tails, all that shit, all you could eat. But if you went on where the fucking shellfish was, you had to pay like an extra $5. Which that ain't much.
I mean, that's not bad.
Give me 6 of them fucking lobster tails.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a bowl of butter.
Yeah, the big bowl of butter. I'm just going to stick my whole face in it.
Yeah, and then they have an ice cream bar over there, a salad bar. You couldn't eat all that.
Well, see, unfortunately, that's the thing.
That's
it's
the
just, I love the idea of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, even when we go to like the Chinese buffet and stuff like that, I can eat like a plate of salad and like some cold shrimp and then one plate of like a few hot things, and that's it.
Yeah, and a little bit of dessert.
I can't
eat that much.
I can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, and like one little scoop of ice cream with some peanuts on it.
Yeah.
That's about as much as I can eat, or I'll get sick. So it's just kind of like,
if you have a good Chinese buffet, let's just say you want a high protein diet, you know what I mean? You're in the gym trying to put on muscle. You might be on PEDs. You're going to want to go to a good high-end Chinese buffet. Because, man, you can get all the chicken and shrimp and vegetables, you know, cauliflower or whatever, and fucking broccoli. All of that you can eat is just right there. And they usually have good salad bars. So you can eat all kinds of fresh. You can get a very clean meal out of a good Chinese buffet. Just stay away from the rice and the noodles.
Yeah, just stay away from the
deep fried
carbs
stuff.
And the fried stuff.
Yeah. I go to the fried stuff too, though. I can't resist fucking egg roll.
I do get a little bit of the fried fish because I do like that, but mostly I get the steamed fish.
Yeah.
I do kind of like it, so I'll get a little piece of the.
I'll sit there and get 2 plates, put them one on top of the other, and then on the top plate, almost fill it up with fucking boiled shrimp, and then I'll get a slice of lemon, and then 2 little fucking plastic containers of the cocktail sauce, and then see I have 1 plate already just for my shells.
Yeah, so he has 1 shell.
Yeah, I'll sit there and I'll eat fucking half a pound.
And then he's got a lemon to squeeze on his hands to get all the shrimp.
That's right. Off. I get the shrimp smell off, and it's okay. I'm ready now.
Now we're going to the next plate.
That's just pure protein, man. I'll get like a half a pound of fucking shrimp, and then I'm gonna go for the beef. Beef with fucking broccoli.
And then they have the chicken on the skewers.
Hunan beef. It's Hunan beef, and I'll put some more chili sauce on it. Where it's just fucking olive oil and chili flakes. I'll put some of that on it, and then go over to the damn mixed tofu vegetable platter, and just get broccoli and onions. Put that next to the. Don't get the tofu. I don't worry about the tofu. Put that next to that beef. Shit, make me hungry.
We'll even eat a lot today, but
yeah.
Senor Stick said, Jenny, you're doing buffet wrong. You go on an empty stomach. Oh, I do.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
she fills up quick.
I can't eat a lot in one sitting. I don't like my stomach shrank, I guess, like because I lost a bunch of weight at some point, and so now if I eat more than like a plate and a half, I will literally throw up.
There have been times when me and Jenny got in the car and tried to drive back, and we're just like, we feel like fucking shit.
And I'm just like, I think I'm gonna hurl.
Oh man, so I ate too much.
Like a couple times I did hurl.
Yeah,
like in the parking
She
lot.
almost threw it up. Man, I ate too much.
Because it was too much.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I was thinking, don't throw that up. So don't do it. You paid for that shit. Don't do it.
I'm like, easy for you to say. So it's like, I can't... So in some ways, I don't know. I like the all-you-can-eat the buffet because you can pick like whatever you want, right? And usually... Like, sometimes I'll get, like, some cold shrimp. Sometimes I'll get some sushi. Like, I get cold stuff first. Like, a little plate of that. And then, then I'll just get, like, a little bits of stuff. Like, I'll get egg foo young. I'll get, like, some chicken on a skewer. I'll get some fish or something like that. But after that, I can't really eat anymore or I'll barf.
Yeah.
So, it's just, like I said, I don't know if my stomach's just really small.
And that buffet, I think, is only, like, $9 a person.
No, it's more than that.
Is it more than that? Was it 12?
It's $13.99.
13? Okay. Yeah, $13.99. That's right. Still pretty cheap for what we're eating, though. That's pretty cheap. And that's less than McDonald's.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's less.
I think it's
$13.99.
Yeah. But and it's honestly it's pretty crowded, so the turnover of the food is high, so nothing sits around.
Yeah, it's always fresh.
And they have a good selection, and
they got pizza there.
They do,
and the pizza's good. It doesn't taste like pizza, but it's good. They got it up there for the kids.
Yeah,
and it's just a light, fluffy bread with cheese and garlic. It's
just like cheese bread.
It's like cheese bread, but it's super fucking good, real good.
But
it doesn't taste like pizza.
It's not pizza,
no,
but it's still good though.
They call it pizza.
Tom gets it like something.
I get it. And I come back with I'll have the food and a slice of pizza on top. And she looks at that shit like, what? And I'm going like, and I have this look on my face like, yeah, I did this shit again. I got the fucking
they
bread.
just put it there. What do you want me to do?
Bread, yeah. Not really supposed to be eating bread, but
actually, one of my favorite things to get in there is peanut chicken.
Yeah,
like their peanut chicken is actually really good. So I'll usually get peanut chicken. I usually get like some mushrooms and some other kind of vegetables, but I usually like stick with seafood, honestly.
Yeah, some people were talking about going to Las Vegas. It's more high end, but then Phantom jumps in and says, "No, I think Mississippi's casinos are better." I think they are too. Although I haven't been to Vegas, but I've heard complaints about Vegas. Vegas is too big. It's too big. Too much trouble. You don't get a lot of personalized service. I liked the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Biloxi, Pass Christian casinos. See, in Mississippi, you could have a casino, but not on land. You could have one on water. So all our casinos are on the coast. They all float.
Yeah.
Although when you looked at the shit, I don't know how they float. They're made to appear as if they're floating. They have a moat around them. They're on the
like
ocean.
A fucking loophole.
Right. Yeah, and what's funny is that Mississippi knew, man. They just laughed. They were like, yeah, put that shit.
We respect
there.
Your game.
There
okay.
it is. Yeah, and fucking that was a huge industry from Mississippi.
They're like, moat, is that good enough? They're like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
it's technically on the water, kind of.
Yeah, a lot of rich people live on that coastline, not from Mississippi. New Yorkers, fucking rich people from fucking South Florida, Texas. You know what I mean? It's high-end real estate. It's not like the rest of Mississippi. Mississippi Gulf Coast is more kind of like Florida, more like Tampa, or and a lot safer than New Orleans. A lot safer.
Tammy says the older you get, the less you will be able to eat. Yeah, I have found
that might be true.
Because when I was younger, I used to be able to eat quite a bit.
I could eat insane portions.
But I mean, Tom can still eat a lot. Not gonna lie, but he probably eats 2 or 3 times what I can eat. And like I said, I go to the buffet. I'll eat one small, like cold apps, and then I'll have one plate of just like random, like hot things, and then I can't really eat anymore. Like, you're like, yep, I'm gonna barf. So it's not great because sometimes it's like, ooh, I want to eat this. It's like I'm hungry, like I want to eat this stuff, but I can't eat it. I'll just get sick. Xander said, we have a famous cheeseburger the casino here has sold since 1958 called the Awful Awful. It's so amazing. What the fuck is on it? That sounds intriguing. Now I kind of want one. Tom has a military stomach? Yeah. I used to say, I don't know where he puts it, man. It's just, because, shit, man. I mean, dudes can eat more, I guess. My brothers, when I was growing up, because I have 2 brothers, and when I was growing up, like, I could eat a lot, but they could out-eat me by a large margin. And my grandmother used to be like, those boys, they have a hollow leg, she used to say. Because she's like, where's all this fucking food going? How do they eat all of it? I guess that's kind of like a cliche that, like, teenage boys, like, will eat you out of house and home. But, like I said, we don't eat a lot. I mean, yeah, we go to the buffet, we do stuff like that, but usually that's all we eat, like, all day. Like, we only really eat once a day. You know? Like today we went to my mom's, and she made a ham, and she had, like, some sides and stuff. So, I ate a ham sandwich, had a couple beers. My sister had been to the Disney Halloween party, so she had, like, bags and bags of candy. So, I ate a couple fun-sized Snickers bars, I ate some potato chips, and she made a chocolate cake. So, I had a little piece of chocolate cake and a little piece of ice cream, and that's about it. So, that's all I've eaten today. And even that was kind of a lot for me. CB said that I probably had a gorgeous belly. He's flirting.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think. It's kind of cute. What do you think?
It's getting there.
It's getting there?
Yeah, because Jen's like in a process of losing a shit ton of weight. And she carries all her weight around the middle. And just genetics.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But, no.
It started to flatten a lot.
Yeah, it's flattened out a lot in the past couple of months.
Yeah, because it used to kind of pooch out. Like, it used to have, like, a little bit of a pot belly.
Yeah.
But I don't really have that much anymore.
She only gains in one place. Yeah.
Like a dude.
Like a dude, yeah.
All of those trolls are right.
Yeah.
I'm just
kidding.
I must be a dude.
We got video proving it, though.
Yeah.
Man,
Senor Stick says, can Tom make a pot roast? Yeah.
Yeah.
He can make anything.
I'm a trained cook. I'm not a chef, but I'm a cook.
By the way, my sister
sent
me that recipe for that corn.
Okay, yeah, I want that. Her sister had this damn corn, what was it called? Dressing? No, corn salad.
It was some kind of like corn salad, like a side, like a barbecue side.
She had just a bunch of corn kernels with mayonnaise, Mexican seasonings in it.
There was sour cream in there.
Sour cream.
Jalapenos.
It was kind of a southwestern corn salad. And actually, I was eating that thing. I says, man, this would be great on a sandwich. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so my sister said, hey, I'll thank you.
It'd be really good. It'd be good on like a roast. It'd be really good like on a roast beef sandwich. Be awesome.
That probably would be good.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. Now I'm kind of wondering, because when we left my mom's house, because we came home like a little bit early so we could do the show and everything. And when we were leaving, my brother, Eric, and his wife, Emily, were just starting to bust out the margaritas. And they were just beginning to talk my mom into having some margaritas. So they might be completely shit-faced by now.
Yeah, they're probably smashed.
Which I kind of wish I'd stayed long enough to see that. But I never got to see my mom drink. Because they didn't really drink growing up, my parents. I wasn't really in an environment where people were drinking all the time. Like every now and then, like they'd have a beer or wine or something if they were having friends over to play cards or something, but they never drank usually. So it's just kind of funny. So it was just funny to me that my mom was like, "Oh, I think I'll have a margarita," like, because my sister-in-law was like, "I'll make you one if you want one." And she's like, "Yeah, I think I might be almost ready." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm gonna miss all the fun." But yeah, I did text her and say we got home. Good. She always asks, but it's like funny. Xander said, all I notice is Jenny has more pointy shoulders. I can only see her arms. That's a compliment, though. It's not a bad thing. My shoulders are pointier than they were before.
I don't know what he's talking about. I think he's just talking about this area.
I guess.
They're actually, if you see them in real life, they're like little round balls. Actually.
Not like balls.
Yeah, she's not pumped up right now though. When she's coming out of the gym, her shit's fucking looks good.
Tammy said Mexican street corn salad. It could be that. I don't remember what she called it. It was just kind of like, we had some of them. Tom's like,
it was corn with mayo and sour cream.
Yeah.
Some kind of Mexican seasonings, jalapeno, Mexican seasonings, and cilantro. It was simple.
But like I said, she texted me the recipe, so I'll show it.
It was like a cool, and it was served chilled.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Mexican coleslaw, but it was fucking.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but with corn.
That's what I was saying. I thought it'd be good on a sandwich because coleslaw is great on sandwiches.
That's one of the few applications, because I don't really like coleslaw. Just eat it on its own.
Oh man, sandwich is good.
I'm not a big fan of that, but like on a sandwich, I could probably.
Oh man, on roast beef, it's great. Great, it's good on pastrami too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hot pastrami sandwich with fucking hot pastrami sandwich with cheese on one side, and on the other side of the bread, fucking coleslaw on like a rye bread. Yeah.
Now you're kind of making me want like a Publix roast beef sub on that 7 grain.
Yeah.
Bread with all the shit on it.
They got those fucking subs out Subway up there at fucking Circle K, just up the street.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what? Other night, I think it was last Friday after the show, right?
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they're better. You know what? Subway sandwiches, I know they had a big rebranding like lately where they were just like, hey, our sandwiches don't suck anymore, we promise. That's not what they said, but that's kind of what
they meant.
That's what the gist of it was.
They were pretty good.
Everybody knew.
Pretty good.
But yeah, they weren't bad. I got one of the pre-made ones. Yeah. Like it was garlic roast beef. I guess, and just I had tomatoes and spinach and shit like that on it, and it was pretty good. It's a lot better than it used to be.
Mine was an Italian one. It was
bread tastes a lot more like bread.
It was a foot-long meatball sub with provolone cheese and pepperoni on it. It comes together. They sell it. Just, I forgot what they call that shit. The Guido or some shit like that. What do they call it?
It's not called the Guido.
Yeah, I want to call it the Guido. It was called something like that. It was pretty good.
I don't remember what they called
I didn't taste the pepperoni though. There was pepperoni in it, I'm sure, but I couldn't tell. It was just like any other meatball sub. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I used to eat it. Well, I didn't eat at Subway a lot, but I ate at Subway every now and then because there was one next to my work, and I usually brought my lunch. But like if I was too lazy or there was nothing to bring or whatever, like sometimes I would go over there and get something. I usually got the one that just had like seafood salad on it. I don't even think they sell that anymore. Phantom said, what's Monday's movie review? We might do Terrifier 3. We might go this weekend to see it. If we don't go this weekend to see it, then I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be. Maybe we'll do the full Monty if we can find it somewhere. I thought I had it, but I don't know. Canada. I don't get the coleslaw thing. It's nasty. I know I'm in the minority, though. I'm not a big fan of coleslaw. You're not alone. Like I said, it'd probably be good, like, it just on a sandwich a little bit. But just eating it, like, out of a bowl, I'm kind of grossed out by that.
Yeah, Xanad is saying that sauerkraut's good on a sandwich, but don't tell Tom, oh, no, it's good on a sandwich. I fucking love that shit on it.
I don't really like sauerkraut.
On Reuben. Reuben sandwich is fucking, what is it, corned beef.
Yeah.
Hot corned beef with
like,
cheese and fucking sauerkraut.
But, like,
rye bread.
Like, you've made, like, a whole German, like, you made, like, stuff in a crock pot with sauerkraut on it and stuff like that. And, like, I'll eat it like that, like pork chops, like German pork chops. But I'm not a huge fan of sauerkraut. I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite thing.
Like it. You just have to have the right preparation.
Yeah.
But having coleslaw instead of sauerkraut, it's similar. But the thing is, it's cool and crispy, like lettuce. But it has the mayo in it already. So it's actually, you know what I mean? And it's not lettuce. It's cabbage, so it's even crisper than lettuce. That shit is good on a sandwich, man. Coleslaw. Real good.
Yeah, I could see enjoying it like that more than just eating it out of a bowl. Because that kind of grosses me out a little
I
bit.
eat.
Because I'm like, this needs to be on
I
something.
put that on corned beef, on something maybe like a dark bread like pumpernickel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly toasted with some cheese, probably like provolone. Maybe Swiss. Swiss would probably be good. And then, I think Swiss. I put Swiss with it. And then coleslaw. And then maybe some, on the other side of the bread, Thousand Island type dressing. That would probably be really good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Or maybe French dressing.
That might work too.
Yeah. French dressing or secret sauce. Sometimes they'll call it that. But it's you know, it's fucking Thousand Island. Basically.
The weird thing about, like, coleslaw, I'm not grossed out by any of the individual ingredients. You know what I mean?
She doesn't like coleslaw.
But I don't, like, when you put them together, I don't know. It just, like, weirds me out. I don't know what it is. But
the sugar to salt ratio has to be correct for fucking...
Well, that too. Maybe
for
I've just had a lot of shitty coleslaw in my day.
Yeah, a lot of coleslaw you get is too sweet. It's not quite salty enough. You have to have a good sweet, salty balance to it. And there has to be enough vinegar in it, too. A lot of times they don't quite put enough vinegar in it. So it lacks punch.
Yeah. Phantom says, what did we think of the sequel to Species? Did you like it or not?
Oh, yeah.
Species 2?
It was okay.
It was alright. I still like the first one better.
Right.
Tubi has all 4 of them.
Yeah, I want to see the other 2, but it's
so we were thinking about, like, you know, maybe not tonight because I'm probably too tired or drunk or whatever, but it's just kind of like we were going to watch the other 2 at some point.
It was okay. I would say more stuff happened in it.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I think if I saw that one first, I might have liked it more than Species. But for some reason, I liked Species better. It was something a little more classic, retro about it. Something a little more elemental. Because they're introducing a new idea to you. And it's this little girl who's fucking growing really quickly. And she's an alien. The second one, you already know that. So now they got an astronaut who's come back and he's contaminated with the shit. I thought that shit was far-fetched. I wouldn't have really have done that.
I mean, I did like that angle. I liked that idea for a story.
It was kind of out of left field, though, when you think about it.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, because it was kind of like... Didn't the dude... Where did he come back from? Mars?
Yeah, he came back from Mars.
And it just... So it kind of didn't make sense that it's like, oh, we were digging around on Mars and just accidentally, like, brought back the same, like, a similar thing to what Syl was.
Yeah.
And then that seemed a little far-fetched. But it's like, if it had been set, like, in a little bit in the future...
Yeah.
And they had been... Because the whole concept of Syl in the first one was that aliens, we don't know where they were from.
Yeah.
They answered and they gave us this information, like, with the DNA. So you would imagine that they were, like, way farther away than Mars.
What I would have done is in the second one, I would have all of a sudden shown some monsters killing some people. And then they do a flashback. It says, remember when the female species in episode 1 put the eggs down in the guy's stomach? Well, that dude hatched some shit. And this is them. I would have gone that way.
Yeah, because then that would be a callback to the first one.
Because that
probably would have been good.
That's how I would have done it. Because you see, there's a scene where she sticks like a fucking ovipositor out of her mouth into his mouth.
That's what it looked like to me.
You see things going through it like eggs.
I thought that's what it looked like.
Well, in Alien vs. Predator 2, that's how the Predalien would fucking... It was half Predator, half Alien. That's how it was impregnating people, putting fucking eggs in their mouths. And that girl would give birth to 6 or 7 live ones. So I would say these new monsters are different than the other ones. Because they were born a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would have just tricked it up that way. And then the movie probably could have stayed kind of the same after that. Instead of an astronaut, maybe you have a dude who's one of those offspring. You know. Maybe there's several of them. Because remember, he was having offspring and keeping them. And I don't think they ever explained what happened to those little babies.
Yeah, whatever happened to those kids? He had like a whole barn full of them.
They're just around somewhere.
And they were all boys.
Yeah.
Weren't they all boys?
Well, maybe in the third one they say, yeah, those motherfuckers went on to do all kinds of shit.
Yeah, maybe they continue. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll watch the third one and see what happens.
There's another property that I think is better than Species. was called Squirm. Wasn't it called
What?
Squirm?
No.
Or Slither?
They didn't make another Slither movie, did they?
It was I was saying there was another property that I thought was better than this. I think it was called Slither.
Oh, but that was just one movie, though.
It was just one movie. It was some aliens that would go into your mouth.
Yeah.
And you get big, and you give birth to a bunch of other ones. They were taken over, and they were a hive mind. Remember?
Slither was a great fucking
Slither,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, of course I remember that movie.
They should have fucking done with Slither kind of what they did with Tremors. There should have been many of those, but they didn't. They didn't go. They didn't ever pick it up again. That had fucking my Mississippi boy fucking Rucker. What? No, it wasn't Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker. He was in it. Who I like that actor. He's fucking cool. Fucking Merle Dixon was one of the best characters of all times, but in all those fucking horror series was fucking Merle. Well, Daryl and Merle, they were both real cool. And how Daryl died and shit. And he was a shithead, man. And he was
Daryl
a fucking
didn't die. Merle died.
He was a shithead.
Yeah.
But that was a great character, though, man.
He was a great character.
That made the early Walking Dead really good, is to have a dude like that on there who was just a shithead, man. And in the end, he redeems himself. You know, which I thought that was really cool. Remember, he let Michonne go and fucking did a suicide attack. Fucking on it. Yeah.
Senor Sticks asks, Jenny Tom, Goth Club or Vampire Club, better music?
Goth Club.
Well, yeah. I don't do a lot of Vampire Clubs because I know that's a sub-genre. Usually, like, the people that are real into, like, the vampire subculture are kind of, like, a little bit insufferable. Like, they take it, like, a little bit too seriously. Not all of them, but we've been to vampire balls and stuff like that, but usually, like, the music is pretty much the same. Like, there's a lot of overlap. But he also asked, have you heard of the movie Dr. Caligari? Are you talking about, like, the more recent one? I don't remember what year it came out. I haven't seen the actual movie, but I saw Brandon Tenold did a breakdown of it. Like, if you're talking about, like, the weird art movie that looks like, it kind of looks like it was from the 80s. Was it from the 80s or 90s? That's kind of what it looked like. It looks I mean, I probably will watch it at some point. But yeah, it looks like something else. You know. CBS, did The Birth and Species 2 freak you out? No. Anything like that in movies, it doesn't freak me out. Nothing freaks me out in that kind of shit. If I'm going to be freaked out by something in a movie, it's not going to be something like real blatant like that. The stuff that freaks me out is like subtle shit, or stuff that, I don't know, that's maybe kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like tailored like exactly to me, or like one particular thing that freaks me out. Gore doesn't bother me. That's why people are saying it's like, oh, take a barf bag to Terrifier 3. I'm like, gore doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Like I said, if something's gonna make me like heave in a movie, it's gonna be something like poop related, like something to do with poop or vomit. Like that'll gross me out and like make me gag. But like gore, I can watch gore all day long and it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. So, and any kind of birth stuff, that doesn't bother me. I don't know if it's just because, I don't know, that it didn't even occur to me to be bothered by the birth stuff.
Be bothered by what?
The CB asked if the birth stuff, the scenes in Species 2 freaked me out, and I was like, no, nothing like that freaks me out.
Jen doesn't get rattled by anything she sees on movies, and she writes fucking weird ass horror.
Yeah.
But she's kind of immune to imagery that's fake. Real shit would probably bother her because it bothers me.
Yeah, I'm not real into that, but
yeah.
Like, I can look at it, but I'm just kind of like, it'll kind of haunt me probably. But anything that's like fake or in a horror movie or something. Yeah. And like I said, I was telling them, I was like, anything that's going to gross me out or make me gag in a horror movie, it's just going to be like stuff that's like poop related. Yeah. Like poop or vomit. That'll gross me out. But in gore, you can cut people in half. You can like turn people inside out. You can pull their intestines out and eat them. It's like, that doesn't bother me at all. At all.
I've seen some real executions and stuff. That really back in the 90s on Gore Gallery and Rotten.com, they had some of that shit. It was back in when the internet was the Wild West. And there was some stuff that I saw on there that was pretty disturbing. But it was kind of like battlefield footage. Shit, I don't know where it was happening. It must have been somewhere in Bosnia, Herzegovina during the 90s. Some guy ties another guy up to a chair. They're soldiers. And they say something to him. They kick him over on the side. Dude jumps on him and takes a bayonet, fucking sticks it right through his head at the temple. And the cameraman went down with like a home VCR. There's this VCR. That's how old it was. Right into his face as that dude's screaming, and the other dude's shoving that fucking bayonet down into his skull behind his eyes. You hear him just screaming, and it was slow. He was doing it slow. And that one fucking rattled me bad. That one, I was like, whoa.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing.
I couldn't look at that shit.
Well, yeah, that's normal. Like, not to
and
be
then
able
like,
to fucking.
I was like, man, I can't believe that shit happened. But then you get fascinated. Where was that? What did that happen? You know, who was that? You know, but most I could put together by the uniforms. I think it was something that happened in the Bosnian or Serbian-Croatia conflict. And I was already out of the military when I saw it. And the only way I could rationalize it is that he had done something wrong, and those dudes were fucking pissed at him, and they did that to him. Whatever it wasn't normal. They weren't just making a snuff flick, per se. They were executing a guy. So I don't know what he did. Whatever it was, they didn't like it, you know. But in battle zones, all kinds of weird shit happens. Like, dudes will sexually assault a bunch of women because they get away with it. There's no law. So sometimes soldiers would find out about shit like that and do battlefield executions because there's no law and order. They're in a war zone. It might have been something like that. That's the only thing I could think of. Whatever it was, they considered him to be fucking scum. Then there's some cartel shit that I saw, you know.
Yeah, it's like
pretty bad.
I've seen shit like that. I used to watch shows that were like real surgeries. I used to watch that kind of stuff, and it doesn't. Yeah. That kind of stuff just didn't bother me. Like I said, the only thing that's gonna bother me is anything that's like poop related. That's gonna gross me out. But
it's a weird shit, bro. I
gotta pee.
Watched a video of fucking some dudes, cartel, narco army guys. They had a female captive who was also from like another narco army. And he gives a little brief fucking speech to the camera in Spanish. And they got a girl behind that girl. They're all in masks. And her arms are tied behind her fucking back. And the dude that was talking to the video, I don't remember. It was just some generic shit. This is what happens to you when you kill our people. It was that kind of stuff. Evidently, this girl was a narco like assassin from a rival cartel. They were out in the woods. They caught her. They took her out in the woods. And the dude gives his speech. He walks in behind her and takes a little folding pocket knife. And he's back there working for a second like that, and then pulls her right arm off and fucking throws it in front of her. And she sees it, and she's now free because they were tied together. And she screams bloody murder. She didn't make a peep when that dude was sawing that arm off at the elbow. But when he threw it out in front of her, she screams fucking... the blood-curdling scream. And the girl that was holding her head by the back fucking slaps her and basically says, "You shut the fuck up." Basically is what she said. And she held herself together. And then the dude reached down there and cut her other arm off. She was fucked up after that. And then they slit her throat. That one was fucking pretty bad. But I was still more fucking upset at shit that has leaked of what dudes had done to animals. Like, you just see a cat in a cage, somebody pours gasoline on it and sets the cat on fire inside that little cage. It's fucking gross, man. Fucking horrible. Cat's trying to scream and it's breathing in fire, making fucking weird noises and shit. There was another one that was pretty bad. I think one bitch and 6 dogs or 6 pups or something, and this dog, this guy kills all her little puppies and shit, fucking cuts the guts out of it, and the mama's eating the guts trying to save the babies. This shit was disturbing.
See, I can't watch shit like that.
Yeah.
I even have a hard time
with,
I don't even like really fake animal cruelty in movies, but it's like real animal cruelty again.
Yeah.
Then I find that more disturbing than
I was more disturbing
human.
Because this is an innocent dog. It has no idea what the fuck is happening. And then he beats the dog to death, I think with a jack or something. I don't remember what he had. He had something with him. It was chained to a tree. And from my understanding, I heard later on they did catch the guy. It was some dude in Eastern Europe, and he was rocked up, and he took the dead puppies, and he was jerking himself with the dead puppies like it was their fleshlights.
Okay, that's a person that just needs to be taken out of the human race, immediately. Just blast him in the head.
They got him eventually, but
just get him out of the gene pool, please.
That dude there was like, and he was a young guy. I watched that movie and fucking, and shit was going through my head about what I would do to that dude. You know?
I don't blame you.
You can't let somebody like that walk around.
No, absolutely not.
Because they're going to do that to a human.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, and it's bad enough doing it to an animal. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so somebody may not understand what we're saying. Like, what animals aren't humans. We're Southerners. Dogs and cats and pets are like family members to us. And we're around nature a lot. Wild animals, too. Animals, their personalities are very good. They're very childlike. They're not a harm to humans. Even bears that might eat people, well, shit, you're in that bear's house. It doesn't know that you're different than any other animals that it might eat.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're just another animal, you know what I mean? So it's not really, there's no evil intent behind these animals, you know. Maybe the exception of chimpanzees, because they're smart enough to know what evil is.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with a chimpanzee.
No. But most of these animals, like dogs and cats, they're domestic animals, and were raised and bred over thousands of years to be servants of mankind. You're not supposed to betray that trust. We're supposed to be custodial. We're the custodians of those entire species of animals, including cows. Cows would not exist if people didn't eat beef. But you see, normally in nature, animals like cows are eaten alive by lions. So mankind has kind of made out a deal with them. You can live in large numbers and live in peace. And then when the day comes, you will die in a way that's better than what it would be like being eaten alive.
If you were in the wild.
Yeah, so you have an easy life and a quick death in exchange for your food. Exchange for your meat. That's a better trade-off. Those animals are not wild. They would never exist in the numbers and the way they looked, too. They were bred to look like that, to produce without mankind, they would never exist. So they're docile, like cows, They were bred to be docile and to just have fun and eat until slaughter day. And most of them live, full lives, years. They don't kill them, when they're babies. Although sometimes they do. Veal. I don't know how much I agree with veal. I believe in letting an animal live.
Yeah, I'm not real.
Yeah, I believe in letting an animal live.
Idea. Like, poor cows, they're delicious, but...
Yeah, let the cow live.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
You're making a trade. In nature, the cow would have not lived long anyway before they were eaten alive. So we're going to give them a better death and a much easier life. They're trading off.
But I mean, to me, and I think that's, that's why they say that's like one of the first signs of like somebody that's a serial killer is like doing shit to animals like when they're younger. Is that doing shit to animals in my mind is like the same as doing it to a baby.
Like a baby or a child.
Yeah.
They don't know good or evil, and they tend to trust human beings, and you're betraying that trust. And there's nothing that the animal could have said or done really to deserve what you're doing.
No.
They're very friendly. Little things like raccoons, they're very friendly and affectionate. And it's just wrong to mistreat it. Humans, on the other hand, are more sophisticated. They can be evil.
Yeah.
You can punish and reward a human. And I've been an animal trainer. You can't really punish an animal in the way you can punish a human, because they don't really understand what they did wrong. And the punishment will just be seen as aggression anyway. So there's a lot of body language, kind of like horse whispering, and bringing an animal into your friendship zone where the animal sees you as the leader of the pack because you're good to them. That's how you do it. And yeah, they'll be punished. They'll be slapped or smacked if they kick you. I've been kicked by a horse and went up and just punched that bitch. You cannot hurt that horse. They're fucking tough, But you have to tell that horse, you can't kick me. That's wrong, Because I've had horses just kick me. because they didn't trust me. You don't have to trust me, but just you can't kick me. You're going to get punished. And what's funny is that the body language is, okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And then you leave it at that.
Well, they understand.
They understand that. They go, yeah, there's a different hierarchy.
The retaliation.
Right.
We got a super chat from Jeffy Art. Thank you very much. Speaking of chimps, Jenny, are you guys going to do a video on chimps and apes in captivity? I've been wanting to do one on like chimps raised as humans because I find that really interesting because there's a lot of cases where that has happened. But it's never won in the polls yet. But eventually, it is on the list though. And Xanada also said they say dolphins can rape and be serial killers. That's what I've read anyways. I don't know about the serial killer thing, but dolphins for sure can be rapists. Ducks are rapists too. You know what I mean? It seems that sometimes, in general, like the higher up on the intelligence scale they get, like the shittier they get. I mean, dolphins are generally pretty cool, but I have heard that they are little rapists. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look more into it, but... That's, yeah. Tammy said, we can't even raise our voice in the house or our bigger dog will run out the house. He's learning he can push open the screen door, so I wonder what his early life was like. We have to reassure him that we're not mad at him if we get loud. Yeah, you know what? Bambi, the kitty we got last... It was like a little more than a year ago. It was a year ago, August. And we got her from... Well, PetSmart, but she had come from a shelter. Like, they had taken her to PetSmart literally the day that we saw her in there. And we're like, oh, she's a Manx too. And we'd been looking for another cat, like, to get along with Pookie. And because she was a Manx too, we're like, oh, we'll get 2 Manxes. That'd be cool. And so, we don't know. She was 18 months old when we got her. All they told us was she came from a shelter in Tampa. She'd already had a litter. And evidently, from what they implied anyway, that was when the family had given her up when she had kittens, right? I don't know what happened to the kittens.
They also got taken.
I think they also got taken. Yeah. Hopefully they all went to good homes and stuff.
Well, that agency, you notice they give the kittens to leave were the first ones to leave.
Yeah, well, kittens are always the first ones to get adopted. Yeah. Like, and that's kind of, well, that's the same thing happens with humans. Everybody wants baby humans. Nobody wants, like, the teenagers. Mm-hmm. So it's like they end up in the fucking foster care system their whole life, which is really sad. But she was 18 months old, and one thing that we've noticed about her, she wasn't super skittish. Like, as soon as we put her in the car, like, if we put Pookie in the car for any, like, to take her to the vet or whatever, she like, yells the whole time, God, where are we going? Oh, my God. And she, like, flips out. But we put Bambi in a box and put her in the car, and she just, like, looked out like, huh, where am I going? And then we got her to the house, opened the box, and she just hopped right out. Looked around. This looks all right.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, this is all right." This place.
And then Pookie's like, "Who's this?"
Yeah.
She was like, and then they were kind of having a thing. But one thing that Bambi will not do, she will not
get on the bed.
Yeah. And we can't figure it out. Like Pookie will get on the bed all day long. She will lay on your face. She will sleep in the bed.
Yep.
She comes up on the bed and tries to chew on the plug thing, like the USB cords. We have to put a pillow there. We call it the Pookie Defense Shield, the PDS system.
Yeah.
Because she'll just chew it otherwise.
She'll chew everything, yeah.
So we just like leave it, and she'll come up there looking, and she's like, the pillow's there, and she's like, damn, and she's like trying to get around it and stuff. Yeah. So Pookie loves the bed. Bambi will not jump on the bed. It's like she'll come around the side of the bed. Yeah. And will yell like, "Hey, come down here and pet me!" But I'm like, "No, come up here."
Yeah, and I'll bring her up on the bed, pet her for a second, try to get her relaxed, and she's like,
"No,
fuck this!" And then
she jumps off. And so all we can figure is that maybe in the house that she grew up in, she wasn't allowed on the bed, and she got punished because there's like Pookie's on the bed all day long, and Bambi sees her on the bed, sees her sitting there.
She knows what a bed is,
and nothing bad happens to Pookie on the bed.
She knows what a bed is because she has no problem getting in chairs or anywhere else. Just that bed. So she knows.
Yeah, she'll get up on chairs. She sleeps in the chair in my dressing room.
Yeah.
It's covered with cat hair.
She thinks she's going to get punished if she gets on the bed. Even if you bring her on the bed.
Yeah, Karen Lee said Pookie may keep her off the bed. Maybe that's what it is.
No, she did this from day one.
Maybe. Because I kind of thought that too. It's like maybe she thinks that that's Pookie's territory.
I don't think so.
But... I'm not really sure.
Early on, we also saw. We probably said it before. We saw the squirrels.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we said because. Well, I put it on Facebook.
Right.
But I don't remember if we said on the show or not. We might have said it Wednesday night, did we?
The squirrels that we found and brought in
after the hurricane.
After the hurricane, we warmed them up. And they got some sleep here. Let them go out front where I found them. Jenny was in there working out. She goes, Tom, look, the squirrels. And I looked out the window of the gym, and there was like a big squirrel and like 5 little squirrels. And one of those squirrels was looking at us like, it's you
looking
guys.
In the window.
Yeah, look at you. I know you. I know them. Yeah.
Like it recognized us.
Yeah, they live in the palm tree outside the window here.
Yeah, outside the window of the gym.
Yeah. And they don't come out much. They're in there a lot.
They must be a big-ass nest in there.
Yeah, it's got to be. They must have hollered it out in there.
But I was just happy to see that because I was so sad to see those 2 little babies. I mean, they're not babies. They're almost grown.
They can run, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they had all their fur and they had like tails. They just the tails weren't all poofed out, you know? But...
No, they were poofed out, just that they were wet.
Yeah, but they're not as big
and
poofy as like a full-grown. That's what I meant. But yeah, so I was just glad to see them running around. Yeah, Senior 6 said, speaking of, how is Pookie? She's good, but did she just come in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw a little shadow.
She's right there, yeah. She's trying to tear up your purse or your shoes.
What are you doing, Pookie?
She's tearing up the back of your shoes.
Oh, okay. Of course, that's her favorite thing. She loves to destroy things. Today, she jumped up on the bathroom counter, which she hadn't done in a long time. She wanted the brush. And she hadn't wanted the brush in a long time. So I was brushing her, and holy crap, the amount of hair that came out of that cat.
Yeah.
Because she's... Manxes have a double coat. Like, it's an undercoat and then, like, a coat on top of it. So her hair is, like, really thick. And so when I brush her, like, all this hair comes out. It's just like a hair cloud, like, around her. And then she'll, like, go like that, like, try to get it. Like, try to get the hair. I always tell her that I'm going to make a tiny little replica of her using her own hair. Like a Teddy Pookie.
Yeah.
That she can... Oops, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. She
I put my foot down and she was right there.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it, Pookie. I scared her out of the litter box the other night, too. Because I went in the bathroom and I didn't turn the light on.
Yeah.
And I guess she was in the litter box and I didn't see her. Like, she was, like, fucking freaked out. I don't know, man. But yeah, poor little baby. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Pookie claimed the bed already. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
I don't
she
think
thinks
so.
But the 2 of them are, like, kind of buddies.
They're buddies. Yeah. I don't think so.
I mean, they chase each other. But they hang out together, like, all the time. You go in there in the living room, and they're both like laying in the sunbeams together.
Yeah.
So they're not.
Yeah, they're not against each other.
They're not mad. But now, if Beijing comes upstairs, that's a different story.
All right, and if anybody has any questions for us, or if you want to talk about any of the old cases of the past, now would be the time. Show's been going on for over 2 hours, and I'm getting sleepy, but I can hold on. I can hold on a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, let me finish my drink at least. I mean, it's not that late. It's only 9:45.
Yeah, but it's not late for you. I'm you know what I mean? I'm fucking tired.
You're not.
It's not that light.
You're not used to getting up early every day. I get up early every day.
I don't know. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just all the activity of the day.
That's true.
I didn't get a nap either. You gotta have my old man nap.
See, I never get naps. I can't sleep during the day. Senior
I'll
Six
catch a fucking half hour.
Yeah, I know you. I know you do. I can't do that.
I love it. I'll wake up feeling refreshed. I'll even have like ideas in my mind. You know what I mean?
Isn't that weird? Like, a lot of people have told me that, but the only ever times that I've, like, taken a nap during the day, I just wake up feeling even worse than I did before.
No, not me. I'll be fucking... No, not me. The opposite. I feel a lot better.
So that's another reason why I don't usually do it, because I usually feel like crap when I get up. Like, I feel all fucking groggy. Senor Stick said, anyone know the Tiger King? Yeah, we saw that shit. That's wrong. Well, that
Tiger dude wasn't even special around here.
No.
There's lots of those here. We got tiger guys up a road here. That dude that has the tigers, he's about 5 miles from here.
Yeah, it's not far.
Not far. Near Publix. He's got a farm. You can't really see it. It's a big barn and a big brick wall. And behind there, he's got a bunch of big cats. And he used to be one of the Tarzans. I forgot which one he was, but he was a Tarzan from the 70s, I think. He's an old man now, but that's his farm, and it's got a bunch of big cats on it. He's probably breeding them. which you can do that. That's all legal here in Florida. But it's controlled, though. You know, where these things are going. You can't just, like, you know, wait, Tiger King was doing it. He'd sell a cat to anybody.
Yeah.
You get in trouble doing that. Tiger King had a lot of cats, and fucking he'd order a cat killed because he needed a room. You know.
Yeah, he wasn't a great dude.
Yeah, that dude was fucking not good, dude.
He's kind of a lunatic, also.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. They made They made the first Netflix series, and it was so successful that they made another one. And then on the second one, wasn't he like pissing and moaning about how shitty they made him look on the first one?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm like, well, whose fault is that?
There was also a tiger cult in that with the dude who had his own neighborhood and all the women. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that guy.
I think that was also Florida.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's some Florida shit right there.
Yeah.
That's that whole subculture is just so fucking weird, man.
Well, it's mostly horses.
Yeah. Around here, there's a lot of horse farms around
Horses
here.
and lions.
Horse farms, blueberry farms.
Lions.
Orange groves.
Yeah. And, evidently they're doing that in Russia. They're breeding. But here's the thing. Mankind has to figure out what to do with these cats. The wild cat population isn't very big because there's not enough land to sustain them. They require a lot of land out in the fucking Africa and in Asia where they live. They require all this land so they can make a living. Well, humans have kind of encroached in all that. So there's a limit to the numbers of them you can have in the wild. And it's not very many. Well, if you allow that to continue, their numbers will fucking be where they're basically kind of like extinct or stagnant. Why not breed a bunch of them and allow humans to take care of them? You know, but the thing is you have to do it to certain standards. You know, you would think, well, you can't have a tiger, you can't have a lion. I thought that too, until I saw videos of people that lived with them on their own compounds out in Russia. Mountain lions, tigers, they make great pets. They're very caring and loving of their people because they're hand raising them. And there's a channel out there you can see called I Am Puma. All right, and it's this Russian guy, and he's got a American mountain lion and a couple other big cats, and he's got a cheetah or a leopard. And they wait by the window for Daddy to come home, and they see him, and he's back. They get in bed with him, fucking cuddle. He brings them treats. He'll bring them a big old sturgeon and throw the sturgeon in the fucking pool, and they're like trying to catch the fish. It's huge, and they eat the fish. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's taking care of them. You know, and he lets them out, but he walks them. The mountain lion, he had the mountain lion in almost like a full quilted bodysuit, like a jacket, and he had it on a leash. And was taking it out to play in the snow, and you know, it has a real good life. It is not a wild cat, but it's a cat. That's a cat that wouldn't exist. You know what I mean? They brought a cat. They're making more of these kind of endangered species things. You know. Well, what would happen over a period of 1 million years? Mankind's evolving over a period of fucking hundreds of thousands of years, and he's got these lions and tigers with him. Living with them. Do they evolve too over the millions of years? Who knows? Can you do something like genetic engineering to elevate the cat and give it more intelligence? It can speak now. You know what's possible? Anything is possible. You know, but I think it's better to work out some way where mankind can coexist with these animals instead of letting them go extinct. Because eventually they'll go extinct at the way mankind goes. You know, so we got to figure out a way to somehow reach symbiosis with them. And so far, the only way mankind's really handled the symbiosis is to have domestic pets, cats and dogs. A lion could do that same thing. A lion could be domestic, but you better be able to feed it. See, they eat a lot of meat.
They eat a lot.
They eat a lot of meat.
I mean, our cats eat a lot. They're eating man out of house at home. But
a big cat eats a lot
more.
But
a big cat eats
and it's got to have high quality
than
meat.
Our little kitties.
It's got to have high quality meat.
I mean, I go through like a lot of those fucking Shiba tuna and salmon things.
But I don't have anything against it once I kind of thought it out. I think ownership should be kind of like inspected.
Yeah, I mean, as long as
regulated,
somebody's like, watching over that shit.
Yeah, they come in and they go, okay,
because you can't.
This is a totally artificial cat. You didn't buy it from the wild. It came from a breeder. So it's a bonus cat. All right, you got a decent habitat. You got to build a fence here. Your fence is good. So you got to have the right way to make sure it doesn't escape.
Yeah.
And then they come in and weigh the cat. And if the cat is underweight for its age, they're like, you're not feeding this cat enough. You might be able to give them a few warnings. If not, you got to fucking house that cat.
Well, just like they would do with a domestic animal.
Yeah.
If you mistreat your animals, they're going to take them away from you. They're going to take them away from you. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Xanadu said, I find myself relating more and more to Jenny as the years go on. I'm anti-nap. I mean, I'm not anti-nap as a concept. It's just that I can't... Sometimes I want a nap. I just can't take one. And I know that if I do take one, then I'll wake up feeling shittier than before. So I just don't bother. Senor Stick said, any nudist colonies in your part of Florida?
Oh,
there are, but I can't remember where they are. I know there's a nude beach over on the East Coast, either just north or just south of Cape Canaveral. I've never been there. I know some people that have been there.
We don't need nude beaches and shit here in Florida. Fucking, we have something called the Villages.
Oh God, don't even talk about the fucking Villages.
The fucking Villages. The Villages is like a giant fucking retirement home.
It's like a cauldron of STDs.
Yeah, it has the highest STD rate of anywhere in the United States. The highest arrest rate for all kinds of indecent exposure and fucking public
Those old
shit.
People are just off the fucking chain, man.
They have literally been arrested. And it's like a big housing community. They've been arrested at the front gate, inside the fountain fucking. Yeah. Drunk fucking inside. Old people inside the fucking.
I mean, we're old too, but like fountain. Older than us, like boomer age.
Yeah, they're boomers. 70s. And they're fucking in the fountain, leading into the village, in traffic. Traffic just going by. Because they think this shit's hilarious. I'm not against
that in principle, but it's just kind of like funny that it's just fucking.
And in there, they have like a golf courses and fucking restaurants and little bars and shit. And evidently, it's just like a fucking free-for-all in there of all these retired people. They all become swingers and
they don't
fucking
give a fuck anymore.
They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
All that lead gasoline rotted their brains, and they don't have any inhibitions anymore. I guess.
And then the alcohol, and the fact that like we're so old, it doesn't matter what we do anymore.
Really.
And they might be married, but it's like an open relationship now. They're all these old people on spring break, basically, like teenagers on spring break. Fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
But they show up in the news all the time. Look at the Florida, the Villages. You'll find out all about it.
This is a crazy place here.
Trashy.
It is very.
But they got money.
Xana said if there was a nudist colony, Tom would be running it.
No, there's a nudist thing here.
There's multiple nudist colonies here. It's just that I don't remember exactly where they are.
There's a girl on my Facebook friend list that keeps posting for like people to get people to come to their nudist thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
remember her?
Yeah, you told me about that.
She's got dreadlocks and fucking tattoos and shit like that. She looks good. But her and her husband run it, and it's a bunch of nudists, and it's kind of like a miniature resort. I don't think it's on the beach though.
No, there's a lot of nudist colonies.
It's got swimming pools and rooms and shit like that. And they'll probably hold swingers events there too, and just shit like that.
There's a lot of that shit going on.
A lot of that, right?
Like I said, we know of one place because we have friends that go there, like a swingers club resort thing. It's not nudist necessarily.
Swingers, couples fucking each other.
Yeah.
Trading and swapping and cluster fucking, and I got pictures to prove it. They send me pictures. Yeah. And it's young people and old people. It's just
it's not just old.
It's not just old people. It's young people and old people, goths and fucking mainstream people and people from the fetish club, fetish scene, and
there's more than one, but that's kind of the best known one.
Yeah, best one's called Secrets.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
We were always getting invited to go there.
I've never been.
But you got to buy a membership. It's not really open to the public.
Yeah.
And it's like a 70s love motel. Each room has its own theme. They might have fucking fountains in there and shit. I don't think they have doors on any of the rooms. I don't think they have doors. I'm not sure,
because I thought, from my understanding, that it was like you had the option
of
of like leaving everything open,
maybe,
like the windows and the doors, so everyone could watch you or come in.
Yeah. Maybe.
Or if you didn't want to do that,
right,
then
you can probably shut it all up.
Because
there's in the hallways, there's windows that look into the rooms.
Yeah.
And it looks like a 70s
for people that are like
tone.
Exhibitionists.
Yeah. Jungle themes and shit, Flintstone looking themes, caveman stuff, just everything. Mirrors on the ceilings.
Senior Sticks also asks, are tigers native to Florida? They are not.
Are tigers what in Florida?
Tigers native to Florida.
No, hell no.
No.
Alligators.
Alligators are native to Florida.
Fucking sandhill cranes.
A lot of
They're
stuff
huge.
is not native to Florida, but the thing about it is that if it gets released in the wild here, it's going to proliferate no matter what it is.
We have anaconda here, and pythons, and
they are not native to here
native
either. But people had them as pets, and they escaped, and one thing led to another.
Yep.
And now we have a whole bunch of them out in the wild.
Yeah. And parts of Orlando, the city of Orlando and the counties around it, if they have the money, do landscaping around the highways and the roads that look a lot like a theme park. So people come here and they go, man, all of Florida's a theme park. Well, Orlando looks a lot like a theme park. It's pretty, and they've been building it up a lot. But just because it's a theme park, that doesn't mean this isn't Florida. You can go to Disney. This has happened. And your little kid can get out of the car and go down by the fucking bank because it's built in a swamp. And you could, they could go down by the fucking bank of the fucking swamp.
Like a little pond or something.
Of a pond. And an alligator jump up and grab that kid and kill it. Take it out of the water. It's happened.
Yep.
And they now got signs out there. They go, this is wild over here. This is not a
These
theme
are not
park.
animatronic alligators. These are real, actual alligators that will eat you.
Yeah, and it was on Disney property.
It was, yeah.
Next to the parking lot. Little kid ran down there by the fucking toddler. Wow, looking at him, probably taking pictures of him. An alligator went, bam, got his ass and fucking went down the water. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like they try to like clamp down on stuff in Disney. It's their own property and stuff like that. But it's like I said, it's still Florida, and there's
Florida's
still
everywhere.
Nature, and alligators are kind of everywhere.
You can be in the suburbs in Sanford, and walk out of your front door, go into your garage, and come face to face with a big old black bear. It's bigger than a man. Yeah, it happened all the time. I'd be working on a bike and I fucking felt like I was being watched, and I looked around, there was a fucking bear in the fucking garage looking at me around the corner, and I said, "How you doing, bro?" And he ran. Whoa, that's the best thing you do is greet the bear, be happy to meet him. He'll fucking go, "That's fucking crazy," and he'll run. They all run. But it's still the wild. Even if you're in the suburbs. There are alligators in the suburbs.
Yeah.
I've seen snapping turtles 3 feet in diameter just trying to walk down the street.
I saw an alligator booking across the highway.
Yeah. They're trying to move from one pond to the next, and the neighborhoods are in the way. But I saw a snapping turtle. The shell was 3 feet in diameter, and with the fins out of it, it's huge. On the sidewalk.
Yeah, there's some big turtles.
Trying to get somewhere. Yeah. Head was all flat looking.
We were at my mom's house today, and there was a little... What's a group of turkeys called?
A gaggle?
Well, that's geese.
A cluster?
A cluster of turkeys. I don't know.
It's called a cluster.
A tornado of turkeys? I don't really know.
Cluster?
But yeah, there was just right out of the screened enclosure like of her pool, there was a whole bunch of turkeys out there. It was like 7 of them. And she's like, "Oh, they're out there all the time." That's like I guess that was to like a mom and dad turkey, and that was all their babies. Cuz she's like, "Yeah, they brought the babies here to show me." The turkeys.
The crocodiles are now native to Florida.
They
were always native.
Yeah, well, the Everglades...
Well, alligators, not crocodiles.
No, the Everglades was the only place in the world, as far as I remember, that had crocodiles and alligators.
It had both, yeah. Yeah, it had both. That's what I forgot. Alligators are bigger, though. I think American alligator is bigger than an American crocodile.
Well, crocodiles in general are bigger than alligators, but it depends on...
I think the American ones are smaller.
The species. Because if you go to, if you go to the alligator farm, for example, like in St. Augustine, the biggest shit there is crocodiles. And Gomek was a crocodile.
Okay.
and he was like 22 feet.
Okay, all right.
I think he's dead now, but
so
they stuffed him. I saw him when he was alive. But...
So they can get big.
Oh yeah, crocodiles are massive.
Right. Crocodiles in general have a reputation for being more aggressive than an alligator.
Yeah.
Alligators can get very big. They kind of are chilled out though. But if you're small,
fuck with one, though.
if you're small, they'll attack you.
I think they're scary.
They get dogs, they get children, but I don't think they go after. An alligator will not. They're not tending to go after full size adults, unless maybe you were weak or wounded in the water. It might try to do that, but they're opportunists. I did see an alligator in Florida, a video of somebody taking a picture of a fucking woman floating face down and the alligator's pushing her, taking her somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the alligator killed her. You know what I mean?
Because what an alligator
You might have just found the body.
Yeah, what an alligator will do is pull you under the water and save you for later.
Yeah. Well, they can't chew.
No.
So you have to be kind of rotten.
Yeah.
And they'll pull you back into the water and bite something and start spinning and break a piece off. And then they'll swallow that whole. They don't chew.
And then sometimes, like I said, if you're still alive, then you'll just generally drown.
They drown you. Yeah.
And then they'll stuff you like in their little, like a hidey hole so they can eat the rest of you later. Because they can't chew or anything. Tammy says a group of turkeys is a rafter. I googled it. Well, I never would have guessed that in a million years. But yeah, there was a rafter of turkeys outside. They weren't like the big butterball turkeys. They were just like regular wild turkey size. But there was just right outside of her pool enclosure. And she's like, oh yeah, they're always out here. She lives out in the Ocala National Forest, like on 10 acres. So she has bears out there. I think she said she saw bobcats before. I've seen bobcats even in the suburbs where I lived a long time ago. So yeah, there's a lot of and actually shit in this neighborhood, I've seen bears around here. You see deer everywhere, that too, but like the last few months we've been seeing a little group of foxes. You don't see a lot of foxes in Florida, but for some reason there's this little, I think there's 3 of them, and they've moved into this neighborhood. I don't know where they're staying, I don't know where they're sleeping, I don't know where their little den is or anything, but if you go out at night, like 9-10 at night, you see them running around everybody's yards, like the 3 little foxes. Isn't it 3 of them? The foxes?
2. There's 2.
It's just 2?
There's
I
2
thought
foxes.
It was 3.
No, I think there's only 2. They're siblings of some sort.
But you see them like run around everybody's yards, like wee.
Yeah, the Black Bear Reserve homeowners group on Facebook. All the neighbors see the things and take clips of it all the time and post them up on the Facebook page for the community. So our community Facebook is fucking good because they'll be up there and it says, yeah, that same dude came by yesterday, and then they're like, oh yeah, he's coming by, and they'll show pictures of him from doorway cameras. There was guys just knocking on doors and asking, to read your meter type of deal. They were casing the place. This was a couple months back. And they didn't know who that dude was. They were trying to identify who that guy was and why is he walking around asking to see meters. I think he was casing the place to try to find a good place to steal from,
Yeah.
But a lot of these dudes that steal, they're not really up on fucking modern technology. They don't realize that these houses are loaded with cameras.
I mean, everybody's got a Ring camera now.
I mean,
we don't have one, but like a lot of people do.
I've seen videos fucking recently, of people putting flyers on doorknobs, and while they're there, they'll steal something and walk away. You can't do that nowadays, man. Cameras are everywhere. They call the cops and go, this guy right here, look at it, he stole the fucking scooter.
There's this big stupid face.
Yeah, big stupid face right there. And then his ass gets fucking locked up for fucking stealing, Florida has law and order. You can't steal here. There are other cities you can steal in. If it's under $1,000, then you can't do anything to you. It's like out in California. No, here, that shit could be fucking 10 cents and they'll fucking throw you in jail for it. They don't fucking play here.
The best thing about the Black Bear Reserve Facebook group is that every time that douchebag 2 doors down starts blaring his... You go on there and everyone starts complaining.
Talking about him.
I just called the cops. They're not.
Yeah.
So other people are complaining too because that shit, he was doing it Sunday night. Wasn't it Sunday night? And it was so loud. It was like rattling the house. And he's he's 2 houses down. It's not next door. It's the one over next to that.
Yeah.
And it was
the whole house would be shaking.
The whole house was rattling, and it's like it was so loud that I couldn't even hear the TV.
He gets drunk and turns the stereo on real loud.
And it was like super, super loud. And it's just kind of like, and so everybody was like on the Facebook group that because Tom was on it.
He's a redneck who fucking listens to shitty ass brand new fucking country and rap. And some of the country has rap in it. It's horrible. All right. And he runs a construction company. He's not old. He's a young guy. And he's lived in a fucking mansion over there. Big old monster trucks and shit.
Big house.
Yeah. Enclosed pool and everything. He's living large. He's got a lot of money. They should have never gave that motherfucker money. He doesn't know how to handle it. He gets drunk and he starts fucking lighting the whole fucking neighborhood up. And like he can. And I've seen him.
Past 10 o'clock.
And he's not a tough looking dude. You know what I mean? Fucking, I could go over there and shut that shit down. But the thing is it would be on his property. And we're in Florida, okay? If you're on somebody's property, they can basically kill you. They can shoot you as an invader if you go down there causing trouble. And they get away with it because that's the way the laws are. Because he doesn't have any... This is a stand-your-ground state. And also it's like castle doctrine. You can kill home invaders just without question. If somebody comes in your house, you can just kill them. You can kill a person for getting close to your car and like threatening to touch your door because there's anti-carjacking laws here, and that's what works. If you didn't have that here, you'd have carjacking, home invasions, you'd have all that, a lot of it, because that's how Americans roll. If there's no penalty, then they're going to do it, and they're more afraid. They're not afraid of the cops because cops won't fucking just kill them, you know, not unless you give them a reason. Civilians here will just fucking If a woman wakes up and she sees you in her house and she picks up a gun, she will blow you a fucking way, and they will not answer a fucking... They're like, who is this? I don't know who that fucker is. She could call the cops and they'll pack his ass up and she'll go right back to bed. That's what'll happen. And that's the way it should be, really. Don't come in my house. You're trying to kill me if you're in my house. If you were just trying to rob, you'd be in here when I was at work. You know, you're coming here in the middle of the night, you know I'm in here. You're trying to kill me. You've been BTK in my ass. What's his name? Original Night Stalker. You know?
Joseph D'Angelo.
Joseph D'Angelo, yeah. Michael, was it Joseph or Michael?
Joseph.
Joseph, yeah. So, you know. So I don't want to go down there and cause any trouble. That bitch just shoot me. You know? And if I went out there with those AR-15s, he'd definitely open fire. Because that dude...
we have jokingly thought about maybe we could just snipe his truck.
I was thinking about just shooting the truck up.
Shooting like the truck from the window, so you could tell where it was coming from.
Yeah.
I'm sure many other neighbors have thought of that because we're not the only ones that complain about it.
Yeah, thought about it, but they'd be able to do a back azimuth on the fucking bullet trajectory and go, that came from that house probably. Whether or not the cops would actually do anything about it, that's something they probably wouldn't.
I mean, I'm sure there's been numerous reports about him.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's so fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it every night. He doesn't even do it...
He doesn't do that. It's just when he gets drunk he does it.
Yeah, like he'll get drunk, but the last time he did it was just like a few days ago. I think it was Sunday night.
Yeah.
And he started late. He didn't start till like 9 o'clock, and then it kept going like after 10. And I was like, after 10, they can come and get you to shut the fuck up. But as far as I know, somebody said they called the cops, but I don't think the cops ever showed up.
Damn, says burglars can get camera jammers to jam. Yeah, but not in Florida. These dudes are fucking knuckleheads. They're not thinking of that. They're just thinking, I'm going to rob that house. And they'll walk right up to it. Because sometimes they'll do it. They'll be able to get away with it. But there's cameras everywhere now. Especially in upper income areas. It's fucking loaded with cameras.
Hold on a second. Phantom says that Australian crocodile film Rogue is a great horror flick, probably the best crocodile film. I'm pretty sure we reviewed that.
I don't remember seeing that.
Go back and see. I thought we reviewed it, but maybe we didn't. Xanada said, I think cameras kind of provide a false sense of protection. There's tons of unsolved crimes with video footage of the murder and stuff. Yeah, that's true. Lazy Masquerade did a special on unsolved crimes with video footage. Hey, I saw that. Lazy Masquerade is a great channel, by the way. But yeah, so it's... Yeah, because I've written about like a lot of crimes where there was video footage of the dude and you could see his face and everything like that, and they still never caught him. Yeah. So, you know,
he must have been a very unknown guy.
So yeah, it does happen. Yeah, Phantom said you did.
The thing
I
is,
was
though,
there
is
for that review.
the
Okay,
thing is, though,
I thought we'd reviewed that.
Florida has facial recognition software.
Well, I thought everywhere had that.
Yeah, they should. I know that Florida has it. So what they would do is they'd put that face inside the database. And if it didn't have a match, eventually they'll get a match because that dude's committing crime somewhere, and he'll end up going through jail. And when he goes through fucking in processing, they get his fingerprints, and his fucking mugshot and shit, and then it'll pop up. Oh yeah, this is the dude that fucking robbed that place 2 years ago. They can look on the video and go, yeah, that's him. Yeah. So they'll get you eventually.
Tammy said, I'm so glad we don't have neighbors. I mean, honestly, like, most of our neighbors, you never hear boo from them.
No.
Like, they're just totally normal.
It's just that one.
It's just that one dude.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it all the time. It's just, he does it often enough that...
He's got a reputation for it.
And he's got a reputation for it, like, around the neighborhood, like, on the Facebook
soon
group.
as I hear
and on Nextdoor, they're all, like,
as soon as I hear that fucking boom, boom...
And you're like...
Boom, I'll fucking get up my tablet and go on fucking Black Bear Reserve.
Yeah.
And at the top post of like, he's at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been reported numerous times.
At it again.
And nobody does anything about it. Or like somebody comes and talks to him and he's just like, yeah, I won't. And then he'll just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think he only does it when he's like super drunk.
Yeah. Well, that's what they said.
That's the only time?
Yeah. On there that says, yeah, he must be drunk
Holy,
again.
I couldn't believe how fucking loud it was. Like this last Sunday... It was drowning out the TV.
Yeah.
And he's 2 houses down. And it was rattling the walls of the house.
Yeah.
I mean...
Xanada says that they got a murderer where? It's to the bottom.
Where?
The last
Oh,
one.
they got one crime in Austin, Texas. They're trying to identify the murderer by his walk.
Yeah.
They have tons of footage of him. He had a mask, though.
Yeah,
because he's saying it's getting better. They can do you by gait recognition now.
Gait recognition.
Yeah.
I was telling you all that. They got a gait recognition software. People are genetically programmed to have a certain kind of gait. And it's like a fingerprint. Everybody has a fucking pretty much unique gait. The way they walk, the rhythm, the speed of it, how the hands move, how the head, and it's evidently genetic. All right, I think you can affect it a little bit, but when you're relaxed, you're going to walk the way you're supposed to walk. All right. Yeah, gait recognition. There's ways to foil it, like if you're in a big fucking sheet or something with holes cut in it. They wouldn't be able to see the arms and legs.
Just moving. Go out like a ghost.
But most of these dudes are not geniuses. They're doing shit on the spur of the moment. They haven't even really planned to commit the crimes that they're committing. They just see an opportunity and they take it. And they might be on camera when it happens. That's all it is.
American Military 100 said, I feel your pain. I have a neighbor who blasts his truck radio directly below my unit.
I think it is the truck radio that's
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think it's outside, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Now, Phantom said you could SWAT his house.
Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah.
You know what? I'm usually like real against that because don't do that. Like people have been killed for real. Like I was watching.
So what?
But that guy,
So what?
You know what? I wouldn't feel too bad.
Yeah.
You know? Because I was watching, I think it was a Netflix series about shit like that. And there was one case where like they had swatted it and it was just like a regular house and like the dude got killed. Like a couple people got killed.
Yeah.
And they were completely innocent. They had no idea what was going on. People were just doing it like to be funny and just like picking random addresses. That's fucked up. But that dude, I don't know. I don't think I'd feel too bad if that happened to him. Would I have the balls to do that? Probably not, because I don't want to get in trouble. But that's kind of a good idea, though. It's kind of a good idea.
No, I guarantee you that dude, his whole work crews are convicts. He's dealing with convict labor, which is. And he brings them over to the ex-convict labor. He brings them over there. They have parties and shit. I don't know if he's married or not, but I guarantee you, because his crew is all ex-convicts, that place is loaded with cameras.
Probably.
Because fucking he doesn't want his employees coming back stealing from him. So anything you did from that, you would have to be some remote. You'd have to be in badass fucking disguise. Pouring diesel fuel all over his car and setting that.
Well,
shit
like I
on
said,
fire.
that's why swatting his house would be good because they wouldn't necessarily know it was you that called the SWAT team to the house.
That's illegal as shit, though.
It
too.
is. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of like, ooh, that is an intriguing idea, but it's just because usually that's like a fucking horrible thing to do. But I don't know. That's like so fucking obnoxious that I'm always kind of tempted. But no, I would never do anything like that. Like, you will get in big fucking trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm not enough of a criminal to like
that eventually
get
that eventually is going to sort itself out eventually.
That's kind of what I feel like.
That's just going to get sorted.
I mean, someone's going to do something about that at some point.
Yeah.
Because we're not the only person that affects. There's
the
a
whole
lot.
Neighborhood. He's blocks away. People are going, that motherfucker's making all that noise.
Yeah, like
again,
some people are like
away.
on the Facebook group or on Nextdoor or something. They're like 2 blocks away, and they can still, and it's still rattling their walls. That's how loud it is.
It's like having a concert out there.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like, they're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Yeah, Xana said the country hip-hop thing is a young Southern phenomenon.
It's ridiculous.
I know a few people who listen to that track. It's so bad.
It's the worst of country and the worst of rap.
And look, I know
together.
everybody just kind of like likes their own music, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody's taste or anything like that, but God, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's country rap. I've never fucking heard of it, such a thing.
And I'm not a big fan of country anyway, and I especially do not like new country. Oh my God, that just makes me want to fucking crawl out of my skin.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, Jen, let's go ahead and shut it down. We've been on long enough.
Yeah, you seem like
we're
you're
almost
kind
at 3 hours. Yeah,
getting worn out.
Yeah, I'm getting worn out. I gotta get some sleep. Gotta take a shower and stuff too, man.
Yeah, me too. All right, so we are gonna wrap it up for this evening. So thank you very much for hanging out with us on this Friday night. It was a lot of fun, as it always is. Thank you very much for your super chats. And we'll be back on Monday for a movie review. It might be Terrifier 3 if we go to the theater to see it. If not, we'll think of something else. But it'll be good, whatever it is, I promise. Maybe we'll do the full Monty. Maybe we'll do Species 2 or 3 or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But, yeah, so hopefully you guys can come and hang out with us on Monday as well. And we will see you then. Have a good weekend, everybody. Good night.